directors, but we believe that your concern extends to the BENECO. So welcome and good morning once again. So we will now give the floor to our resource persons. Is Atty. Mayo online? Okay. So first, we request Attorney Rafael to introduce himself, including the 4 board of directors. You have the floor.
Thank you, Vice Governor and members of the board for your invitation. I have here with me today Director Ricky Moresto, and I think the other members of the board are online with PS Mayo. I'm not pretty sure, but they were sent the link. I'm not sure if they are online. Mr. Chair, may I be allowed to deliver my opening statement?
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Distinguished gentlemen of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Ng Benguet, Honorable Vice Governor, and members of the board, naimbag na ang sapa. Thank you for inviting me. Today, I came as a mother because it is where it all began. If it is wrong to apply for a job in an organization or cooperative or company outside of my home province that happens to be serving the province of Benguet, may I humbly apologize to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Ng Benguet. And before this body decides to declare me persona non grata, if it deems it proper to do so, please allow me a few minutes. I would not really mind much to be subjected to the bashing on social media. We somehow got used to that at the PCOO. This time, however, is different because this is the Cordilleras, our home region. And the lies, the bullying has caused so much pain and shame to my children, the very persons any mother would spare and protect. I sit here today hurting for my family, relatives, and townmates who saw me rise as a young public servant, full of dreams, always believing that hard work, dedication, and passion for public service will spell difference. That years from now, or when I am gone, my children could go home to Eastern Mountain Province with pride and honor intact, knowing that their mother had worked hard to earn her keep and raise them decently. When my daughter was diagnosed with leukemia in September 2019, I prayed to God to give her back to us, and I said I can drop anything. I have chased dreams for myself, and in my heart, I know it's about time I give way to theirs. In March of 2020, after the chemotherapy of my daughter, we came home to Baguio. That was then during the lockdown. Then I decided to finally be home closer to my children. I took my chances. When I learned that then GM Jerry Versosa, the late GM Versosa retired, I applied for the job with then Administrator Edgardo R. Masangsong, or ERT, in July of 2020. I did not apply to the President as he is not the appointing authority. I was born in Baguio City, and I was raised in Paracelis and Atonin Mountain Province. My children, all 3 of them were born and raised in Baguio. We are residents of Baguio City. I have been a weekend mother since I worked with the Ombudsman in Manila since 2010. For the record, I do not personally know Engineer Melchor Licuben, and I have nothing personal against him. In fact, the very first time we met was through Zoom during our essay examinations. The last time I saw him and spoke with him was last October 20, 2021 with Congressman Mark. I applied with the NEA in July of 2020 and have undergone a tedious process and stages in the selection process. I chose not to request for endorsement from any LGU since the law is clear on this. The independence of the board of directors and officers of electric cooperatives, Section 26A, is to ensure the long-term business and viability of electric cooperatives. The management, operations, and strategic planning of electric cooperatives shall, as much as practicable, be insulated from local politics. I would opt not to comment on the merits of the process as per the rule on sub judice, since a petition was already filed by Engineer Licoben with the Court of Appeals. In March 19, 2021, then BOD President Attorney Esteban Somi interposed no objection in the outcome of the process. I have a copy of the letter of Attorney Somi of not objecting to the process, the selection process in BENECO. After my appointment was received by Attorney Somni on August 27 of 2021, I went to BENECO with the 4 BOD. That was the following day of August 28, and to look around and ask for an office space, but I was refused. I went with other volunteer lawyers and the NBI on August 30, 2021. Still, I was refused to be given an office space, so I made do with the Dumol Hall. On September 9, 2021, the electricity at the Dumol Hall was cut off. Still, I made do of that. I made do with that. When Mayor Magalong wrote Engineer Licoben that the South Drive office will be on lockdown for several days, we abided. And when we attempted to go back, we were refused entry. On September 28 of 2021, the project supervisor delivered the preventive suspension order, or the PSO. That is against the 7 board of directors and Engineer Licoben. This is on the basis of the case filed against them with the administrative. The respondents filed with the NEA ADCOM a respectful motion for reconsideration. And despite that, the 7 BOD and Engineer Licoben defied the NEA and had been issuing advisories and memos and transacting with the banks in violation of the preventive suspension order. As for the entry of the PNP, upon the deputization of the NEA to fully implement the preventive suspension order, dumawata iti dispensa kadakay amin ng kakaiyan for the time it was implemented. The enforcement of the order is up for the PNP to decide, and Colonel Donogan explained during the City Council invitation why the time was chosen to be so. That is to avoid commotion. For the record, the deputization of the PNP was to fully implement the preventive suspension order and not for my installation, as I have already assumed office since my appointment was received last August 27, 2021. Also, the PNP didn't bar employees from entering the South Drive office. In fact, some employees have already timed in the Bondi clock, and some were in their workplaces when at around 8 a.m. they were all marching somewhere else. When some employees were asked why, they claimed that they were advised by their supervisors to meet somewhere else, and if I'm not mistaken, to go to the Sunshine Park. While we were at the South Drive office, we noticed one of the desktops which was not logged out. Thus, our lawyers and engineers were able to monitor the conversations among the department heads. We are sharing a copy of the conversation, and it is up for this body to judge what happened in Shilan on October 18 and in Bill Valley, Dontogan, and Balakbak on October 19, 2021. Since there were no linemen who reported on October 18, 2021, Engineer Carlo Ventayan called up Blessy, a contractor of BENECO, and some linemen who reported and helped out restore the lines. Since I was worried that they might turn off the lines in the city business district, I and some engineers and former employees of BENECO went to the sanitary camp substation and Irisan substation on October 19 and turned the feeders into local or manual mode so as to avoid more sabotage, especially that our hospitals needed electricity for the oxygens and the vaccines. On October 20, 2021, I was with Engineer Licoben at the 11th floor of the Lafayette upon the invitation of Congressman Marco. That is from 8 a.m. to past 9 a.m. Please allow me to speak on behalf of Joel Amlo, an employee of BENECO who happened to be on our side. Joel did not self-inflict the injuries he has suffered. No one in his right mind would do so. He will be filing charges against those employees who have beaten him when they entered the South Red office on October 20, 2020. He is still in the hospital recuperating after being operated on. Just last week, the linemen who helped restore electricity in Shilan and along Balakbak, Dontogan, and Green Valley received a memo signed by Mr. Ramel Rifani of the Network Services Department of BENECO to explain why they have assisted Blessy in the restoration of the bumped primary backbone pole at Shilan, La Trinidad, Benguet, and for switching on the Green Valley recloser. I am sharing with the body a copy of the memo to those linemen who assisted to restore the Shilan line. Also, Blessy was not allowed to enter the Alapang warehouse after helping out in restoring electricity caused by the bomb pole in Shilan. Your Honors, these linemen and contractors were there to restore electricity. They have helped in, sorry, I don't have a copy of my last page. Sorry, Your Honor. I missed a copy of my last page, but I am here to speak also for those employees and to thank them. This is my simple way of thanking the employees, the linemen, and I hope this body can help them out so that they could be assured that cases will not be filed against them, although we will be assisting them if and when. To the distinguished gentlemen of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Ng Benguet, there is nothing that I want but to work. I don't have any corruption issues, and I am not coming in to corrupt in BENECO. I don't have any business interest with BENECO. I am a simple public servant, and I made do with government salary since I entered public service. Today, and for the coming days, and in the coming days, there is just so much information out there, and I really chose to not allow any barking dog to just put me down, because I wanted to focus on what I really want. We wanted to have a transparent BENECO, a BENECO that would necessitate change, and I would want to open BENECO to all sectors in Baguio and Benguet so that you will be part in managing and monitoring the finances of BENECO. And to this body, again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I am ready to answer your questions if I am required to do so. Thank you so much, Vice Governor and members of the board.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Marie. Sir Rico Marisco, you may want to add something. The counsel, Attorney Jumbo.
Thank you, uh, Vice Governor and Presiding Officer. Thank you for the honorable members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Ng Benguet. We are so grateful for allowing us to be here today, to be able to give our side on what actually transpired. So we cherish this opportunity, and again, we thank you, and now we are ready to answer your questions if there be any. Thank you very much.
All right, so the floor is now open for questioning, but let me just remind the audience to observe order. We understand that there are other supporters from the other side who are here today. And that's it. Let us observe order. Napintas si pagtutugtog ng tape. Okay, the first one to ask question, the Honorable Board Member Juan Nasuru Jr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Chairman of the Committee on Public Utilities, I have the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, Atty. Marie, Ingas Magsapa. Anyway, we are both of us, we are lawyers and good morning, Atty. Marie. Okay lang, Atty. Marie? Okay, anyway, we are lawyers and may tayo dito know the truth. Also, Board of Director Moristo, Maptang Sala, and of course, my good friend also, Atty. Apa nga, mas positive mo? Last time, anyway, there was a deliberation conducted in Baguio City last October 25, and I'm requesting to not to save time and not to be repetitious. If it's okay for you, that the recorded and written deliberations in the city of Baguio last October 25 relative to BENECO issue at Baguio City Council be form part of the records of this Sangguniang Panlalawigan this morning, especially that of Atty. Mayo, Mr. Chairman. Okay kada kayo kasi nata, i-adapt tayo, tapno siguro clarificatory questions lang tinawagan may and limited lang the questions na tinawagan may dito sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan. But of course, with the consent of Atty. Marie and Atty. Mayo, Mr. Chairman.
May we inquire first from Atty. Marie, if you attended the session of the City Council?
Mr. Chair, I did not attend hanap ka nag-attendar ito session of the City Council. But no, as personally as for me, I want to problema kanya, tapuhaan ba at baling repetitious, iti pataray da ito na invitasyon, kanya awan ti problema no yadaw iti body, except of course no kuna ni Atty. Mayo na he would object to it. But as for me, awan problema kanya.
Okay, thank you. But anyway, siguro for the meantime, open na Atty. Mayo. Can you ask Atty. Mayo if he will not object na the deliberation to Baguio City that it will be form part of the records of this morning's deliberation to save time, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Atty. Mayo. Are you online? Good morning, Atty. Mayo. Were you not invited, Attorney, in the City Council? Was it only Atty. Mayo?
Yes, Mr. Chair, anak ka na imbita the City Council.
Attorney Mayo?
Anyway, Mr. Chairman, if you want, I can proceed with the
Oh, yes.
clarificatory questioning with Attorney Marie, pending the consent of Attorney Mayo. Is it okay, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, yes, proceed.
Good morning, Marie. Welcome to Benguet. Handa ka pa ba mag-declare? So you are still welcome. You are really welcome because you are, before you enter Baguio City, you have entered Benguet already. So a while back, panang tatay na you want to work in BENECO and you want to make some changes. Sanaya, Madam, that's your intention.
When Board Member?
I know that you are aware that there are so many resolutions from the municipalities of Benguet, even the provincial, even the city of Baguio, saying that they recognize the leadership of Engineer Gobon as the general manager, and they have been also manifesting na mabalin ang kung mga making-intervene iti NEA, iti management iti BENECO. There are also petitions requesting na ituloy ko man Engineer Gobon na aguray kapama say. And in fact, during the AGMA,
Recording stopped.
during the AGMA, dapat although subject to verification, if it is true, nga dapat declare tama, Atty. Mayo and Atty. Marie
Recording in progress.
personal ng Grata. So, looking at these facts of the case, that in your personal mas lang ay feeling ni, i-insist mo pa yung mo nagbibigay ko despite nagsaot tao, member consumers, owners, nagsaot officials, at kahit dapat ituloy mo pa nilikopan. Despite these resolutions and petitions in appeal, abay nakaslangay pipilit mo pa lang umunag iti BENECO, Madam Chair, Madam Marie.
Salamat, Board Member. Awan mo iti ko nakahan ko ang ipilit kasi awan mo iti ko nakaipilit ko kuma. And for the record, iti proseso kang itilinteg ka mo abogado ka nga duwa, nag-apply lang ako. And I am not to qualify myself. But no, iti screening committee iti NEA, no sino man na authorized na body, kat kunada nga kwalipikado ako, agyaman ako. Kat no siya kat hanak ang qualified, ang kumot na ipilit. The problem with di ikasta kayong mang-appreciate iti mapaspasama is, I don't know, because as for me, I would really respect iti resolutions, data at sentiments, iti kakaiyan. But then again, haanak na parte, iti selection committee, and adamot iti lintel, iti NEA. May mayat siguro nga no adaman na kita dumapay ng resolutions kasi itas tayo iti, but I would respect that ipanyo iti NEA because haan nga siya itinang-qualify iti bagi siya kapo in subject ko lang iti bagi iti proseso. Salamat po.
So it means na surutong latati ibagat NEA. Han mo i-disregard mo garudan the sentiments the people of Baguio Benguet na ituloy na kuman at ituloy na kuman in journey ko bantap no hanga magulungay because you have to understand anyway subat ang payman diay na oray no i-disregard mo garo the sentiments the people of Baguio City in Benguet.
Board Member Abogado Tangadua, and I am not saying na I am disregarding. I am saying what I am saying is I subjected myself to the process and nandiyan lang ako inarami ko nag-applya, ipapatik, ma-qualify, and I am not disregarding. What I'm saying is kung isudat the appointing authority, then I would respect that. Kung anya iti ko na itineya because under 10531 isudaman ako. So, PJT, kahit kung ay klaro, kahit kung ilawlawag, the the body. I am not disregarding any resolution. In fact, I respect that.
May I continue, Mr. Chair?
Yes, proceed.
You applied as JM at the NEA, but before that, hanaya ka din mawat ka endorsement from the office of the president for your appointment.
I asked because I had to ask permission from the president since he is my appointing authority. So, di mawata. Amin tayo magsiguro ako at mabalin tayo masuratan niya ako presidente na dumawat ni endorsement mo kayo tayo. And option niya ako presidente no ikit na rin tayo.
And after filing your application, you are required to submit yourself for emotional quotient or psychological evaluation at University of the Philippines. Hanaya, Marie.
We are already in the selection process and
Yes.
that is already part of the petition with the CA.
Yes, but this is just a fact. We are not talking about whether legal or illegal. I'm just asking about the facts, what happened. Is it true that you were evaluated by the UP psychologist, both of you, Engineer Licoban and Attorney Marie? Nagsabit kayo ba sa UP?
Ikan the UP gamin, I will explain. The emotional quotient, that interviewin that the background mo, anya the experience mo, anya tinagdaanan iti pamilyam, anya ti panagkitam iti pamilyam, iti community mo. DJ Apo iti inkasta iti UP, and may saday ta kadagay proseso. That is only part at the IQ, and at the essay.
Yes,
Apart from the UP exam.
may continue?
Yes.
Magpapaiso ba nga you failed based on the evaluation of UP, you failed as under emotional quotient, failed in Cabilda, or can you explain?
I don't know about that because we are not part of the screening committee and we are not given any copy of the results of our exams.
So you were not given copy of the findings of the UP psychologist?
No, board member.
Okay. Do you agree with me na may isang qualification in the EAC that a member of BENECO in good standing for 5 years? Do you know that?
The 27035 states that it doesn't say that you are a member. It says that 5 years ka nga ada iti managerial experience and another 5 years under 27035, 5 years experience managing a successful cooperative. No data ti basehan nga may isa nga 5 years na panag-manage iti successful na cooperative, ibabalin lang ang qualified dita kat other general managers tila do mga electric cooperatives na successful. Dayjay iti interpretation na rita panyero nga mo, sir.
So you believe that you're qualified with the 5 years experience?
Engineer Licoban is not qualified also, panyero, because OIC, dati ni GM Versosa, OIC General Manager Isunan since 2020, Mayo 2020. So,
may
about
request,
5 years.
Madam Chair, may I request that Attorney, wala mong banggitan ni Attorney G, ang tawan so nagting mga defending ko na. Anyway, we can ask that later. So you're saying garon na ang qualified niya. But you are saying also that
Yes.
the engineer becomes not also qualified.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Ada pa siya panadang graduate of engineering, business, and accounting, or behavioral science. Iso ba dito may isang qualification as the general manager?
Yes, board member. Behavioral science is political science. I am a graduate of political
So you
science.
believe that you are qualified? Madam
Yes.
Chair? Okay. Let's go back to what happened in October 17, in the wee hours of the morning. We are in the morning, about 3 o'clock. DJ ngay inmonag iti group of Atty. Mayo and accordingly NEA personnel DJ office di BENECO in the South Drive. Ada ka ba DJ during that 3 o'clock in the morning?
Awanang enjoy, board member.
Okay. Before that, the police said that there was a meeting at Kabtangwa to plan how to enter the BENECO South Drive. Were you present during the meeting planning?
I was present.
So, nangagwamin Oh, sino may dahan tadi siya during that meeting? That is evening of October 17, is that correct, madam?
Yes, board member.
At what place, ma'am? Where the meeting was held?
At Camp Dangwa, board member.
May I know who are the people present?
I don't know much kung sino da dyan nga opisyales. Mayat siguro nga damagin yung tuka ng PNP if they would be invited at isulat yung mga taga. Because I cannot remember, I'm not familiar with the names.
But Atty. Mayo was there, madam.
Yes.
Colonel
Yes.
Lonogan is there because he admitted that in the city
Yes.
deliberation. Even the regional director was there.
Yes.
How about the DILG representative?
I am not sure if there was a BILG representative at
Okay.
nag-meeting siya.
Ije kami na morning na 3 o'clock, if I am correct, if my memory is correct. Lonogan said that when they were at the BENECO compound at 3 o'clock in the morning, di munag kanu dito kat empleyado ti NEA under your supervision. Is that correct?
Mayat siguro hangko nalag iti na ibagan ni Colonel Lonogan. Diyan nga time and I was not the board member. So nga mayat siguro nga iso nang maglain iti pagdamagan nyo. No, anya nga talaga tinangyari diyan na.
Nung adapat ti empleyado nga nakikuyog iti polis ijay 3 o'clock in the morning nga imunag ijay BENECO South Drive adapat empleyado.
Awan ti amok ijay nga time kasi ni PS Mayo tinapan ijay nga time. Iparbamon. So I am not familiar no sino dati at ijay nakadwa dagiti police ijay mismo nga oras for member.
So you never instructed any of your employees to join the police 3 o'clock in the morning, awan instruction mo.
At dati instructions ni PS Mayo board member tumhang ko amo no sino da iti na itugod ijay nga agsapa. Because after the J meeting, like I said, the time iti panag-enforce daytoy preventive suspension order is up for the PNP to decide.
Okay. So kano ka nagpakita na after the entry of the PNP and NEA personnel?
Ada ijay iti mga 7 a.m. board member.
And who were the people at the BENECO who meet you when you entered the office?
PS Mayo, board member. PS Mayo.
Okay, thank you. And you said a while back na at the meeting you come down, natutulak kayong sarakan nyo iti BENECO compound at 3 o'clock in the morning. That was the collective decision or decision of only one person? No,
I left it iti discretion da to plano anya nga oras because as kanya I don't know the kastada nga enforce iti daytoy nga preventive suspension order. And again, may I be clear that the going there was to avoid na umunag dagay pito na BODs dagay dumangan na dati preventive suspension order na for them.
Was discretion ni Atty. Mayo or discretion the PNP?
That is up for the PNP.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Board.
I believe that you are now exercising your function as a NEA appointed general manager, madam.
Yes, board.
And I believe that you have been appointing employees of the Benguet Electric Cooperative under your jurisdiction, under your supervision. Story, madam?
Yes, board member. Only those na kailangan, board member.
Can you enumerate what are the positions na nag-appoint ka the employees outside from the regular employees of BENECO? What are the positions?
Only our staff and the engineers and only them. The manpower pooling application, dagito empleyado nga mabalin nga tumulong to just in case na adadatihan nga ang report iti trabaho kasabi dyan ang kasama board member.
Nagpaiso nga nag-hire kayo the tellers to collect BENECO bills from member consumers?
They are staff nung awan ti mabalimnin EJ time sa awan ti nag-report na tellers. So they had to attend to the gito'y collecting areas tayo.
Manudang ako nga, tellers di in-authorize mo ang kolekta.
Around, if I am not mistaken, board 9, sagkatalo per area board. Madadamot lang dagay kakadwada nga regular na empleyado who were there during that time.
And they were assigned to different collecting centers, madam.
Only 3 board members.
Can you enumerate what are the areas?
South Drive, Maharlika, and Bunuan board.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. How about accountant or bookkeepers that would account whatever your collection? Did you hire them also?
We are hiring board member. Actually, that time we really have to make do with the BODs, the members of the board, because awan itinag that day on October 18, October 19, awan itinag report na accountant.
So as of this time, how nag-ordinala yung bookkeeper and accountant?
Awan pa board member.
How about auditor, madam?
Awan pa board member. And all the monies we have collected that day were deposited in the account of BENECO Land Bank.
Land Bank. And who is the authorized signatory in the withdrawal of the amount? All collectors that in deposit you in the Land Bank, madam?
Yes, board member.
And who are the authorized signatory for the withdrawal of all those money deposited at Land Bank?
Aming bangko board member, the depository, no less than 1 million that siyaklaing iti signatory, kasama ng iti napasama can be set up dati, and no more than 1 million, halo kami, siya and the board president and the treasurer of BENECO.
So it means you are also utilizing the collections you also saranyo maglaan. You
To pay for the employees, board member, and for the record hanak tayo na nagsisilbi.
last time, ma'am, that the group of Engineer Lecoban is also dispersing. And you're saying that you're also dispersing. Dugdug pa ka dugdug rin yung parang bayad yung empleyado.
I am accountable for any money that is brought out from the MCO's funds or accounts of BENECO board member. And rest assured, awan iti makurapit ka, and we will be accountable.
Anyway, that's not my issue there, ma'am, is dapat coordination nga dito, sinildo ako, dito yung kapag nga sinildoan. So, how can you...
Dagiti empleyado board member nga aga kanya, na empleyado iti BENECO, hanggang silsulduan isudan nga nabayad. So we have to give their salaries.
So, you also paid Board of Director Maristo? His
Per diem.
per diem?
Yes, board member.
Also, Atty.
No board member. Attorney Antonen is not an employee of BENECO, and they are volunteer.
So, your withdrawal at PNP, abi nga na-withdraw kayo sa PNP nga, nakadamat na yung collection nyo. You have been collecting from member consumer.
We did not get the PNP, we did not get from the PNP account, tapno laing adat sa rin ni, naitakat inalis ni Apo Land Bank account.
So
So that we can open a current account of Land Bank.
ang anahan nyo nga na-disperse garo di 1M nga design.
No board member. In fact, naitakat tituma na naibayad ka naging empleyado, and then na-deposit mo ta in PNB tinatuma. And
Okay.
all this, we are very transparent, we are open. Ay natin na pananalamit.
Can you answer me in a very short paragraph, short sentence lang, ada kami di proposed resolution, di ba, Madam Marie? It's only a proposal resolution to declare you as persona non grata. It's only a proposal. In fact, ano ba nga discuss? Can you tell me why we should not declare you as persona non grata of the province of Benguet? Brief lang, ma'am, mo nga tidukta. I would like to give my colleagues also the floor to ask questions, madam.
Thank you, board member. Buti pa nagkunayo ako, pasol no ma-qualify ka, ang trabaho iili. Ino iti may isang kumpanya. That anyanay garod, pasol ko na angkat no. Nakasak na unay nga tao na nag-qualify ita nga posisyon. Ito dahil takat na langran. iti nasair, diriknayo, kuno ano pinatanggan, kabagyan nyo, iti pa nag-apply ko, kuno haan na unay nga nasayaat nga natao nga agserbi para iti probinsya ti Benguet. At kada kayo dito.
Okay, last question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, proceed.
Two questions then. First is it true that the franchise of BENECO will expire on 2028?
Yes, Board Member.
May I know your comment because there's speculation na the reason kano nga NEA would like to take over BENECO is no 2028, mag-expire to the franchise in 2028, BENECO will be taken by private corporation, rich private corporation. So kahit na kano nga they want you to sit down because this is merely speculation. You may or you may not answer, Madam.
Thank you, Board. Actually, that is part of the last page which I was not able to bring with me. Board Member, the NEA cannot sell BENECO. And BENECO is registered under the CBA. It is just not fully compliant because identified the requirements na. So we cannot sell BENECO because BENECO is owned by members consumers. I am not going to sell BENECO and nobody can sell BENECO because it is owned by members consumers.
But the franchise will expire on 2028, and I am Marie.
Yes, Board Member, the franchise of BENECO will expire kung agbalin mo dito yung kooperatiba under the CBA, Board Member.
And if the franchise will expire, anybody can apply.
No, if it is a CDA registered Board Member, if it is CDA registered and aming members consumers kat adati capital share na dita na kooperatiba, haan nga babali na basta ma-privatize that awin o mailang.
Thank you. I'm done, Mr. Chairman. So that I think Atty. Mayo can just finish my motion.
Yes,
If you can respond before I turn over the matter to my other colleagues, Mr. Chairman.
good morning, Atty. Mayo. Are you in?
Yes, sir. Good morning. I'm sorry. I had a unstable connection earlier.
Okay.
Makasuot tayo ito kano, sir?
Pilit na kapo. Yung isang mati sa medyo balay.
And Ilocano lagi dito itong mga sarili nito eh. Okay. Attorney, ada na dyan sa lutsot tatay by Board Member Nazaro, if you would allow that we will adopt those question and answers taken in the City Council tapno saan nga mapinto-pinto matupido iti panag-question ni ditoy. And that will be admitted as part of our records.
I will not be that comfortable with that, Your Honors. Anyway, I can repeat my answers to the questions, and probably we can have a better answer before the Sanggunian of the province. Let the questions be repeated, if I may suggest, sir, so that I can have a better perspective of answering. Who knows, I may have a better answer. Para I may rephrase the answers in a better way.
Okay, so
I know it's quite time consuming, but if we can be succinct on matters that have to be answered, then I will willingly oblige, sir.
okay. So from the members, yes, the Honorable Board Member Nestor Pongan Jr.
Before we proceed, are we assured that awan the armed personnel, armed men ngayon muna dito yung opisina tayo?
As we can see, we have uniform personnel at the door and outside.
Yes, I saw the policemen and I assume they came from BNP. But are we assured, Mr. Chair, that awan din muna ng other individuals that are armed, Mr. Chair?
That we cannot
Punta madalagan at baka namang pagdug kang kabay sa loob.
okay.
Anyway, that's a concern that I opened up, Mr. Chair, so I hope it can be addressed, Mr. Chair.
Damagan tayo may paiman, nagkita ko, uniform person na datoy. Sir, who gave you the instruction to come to this Sangguniang Panlalawigan? Yes.
Very started by provide security.
Paki-ugliman the microphone.
Hello, sir. Sir, good morning. We were instructed by PHQ to provide security and police presence here, sir. Yes, sir.
Sino di nang interview instructor?
From provincial headquarters, sir. POC.
The provincial director.
Probably, sir.
Mr. Chair,
POC, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
no, kasi nga rin ka ko, mabaling we can get the identities of the policemen who are present right now. Can we have their identities, Mr. Chair?
Okay. Did you sign the attendance? There.
And it should be clear, Mr. Chairman, who directed them to come here. They are saying it's from PHQ, what division, what office, Mr. Chair? It should be clear, Mr. Chairman.
So ulitin naman, isunod-sunod, sino pinag-interview instruction kapatay mo may ditoy?
Sir, we received a message from the TOC and informing us to provide security assistance, sir.
And who in particular, what who gave you the instruction?
Sir, I have to ask the POC, sir.
Okay, so we'll give you time to
Yes, sir.
communicate with them.
Mr. Chair, but while waiting for the information, may we also get their identities, Mr. Chair? May we request our staff to get their identities?
Yes.
Tapno mainayon lang tayo din makam, Mr. Chair. Of course, if they will not sign in the awat di maganda, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay, let us proceed. Do you have questions to Atty. Mayo? Board Member Jim Whittiway?
Not to Atty. Mayo later, maybe, Mr. Chair, with due respect. I would like to shoot my questions to Atty. Marie, especially on the manifestation she made earlier. With due respect, Madam, you said that you're residing from Baguio now, in Baguio. May I know where?
I'm a resident of number 8 for Bacacang Norte, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam, you said that you adhere to the principle of sub judice. And even as, with due respect, if you will remember, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan issued a resolution of support to Engineer Ruben earlier on, with the hope that the matter will go smoothly. But in due course, parang lumala. And up to the point that we heard that petitions were filed before the Court of Appeals to determine the appointment. Now, sa amin dito sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan, we also adhered to that. That's why we did not act. We refused or we evaded to dip our fingers. But on October 18, dahil iti medyo talagang nagkaroon iti gulo with due respect. And in fact, some of the members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan decided to go to BENECO on, I think, Thursday. But on Wednesday, the situation there was normalized, in quotation mark. But on the principle of sub judice, which both of us adhere, and which you said you adhere, apay hanggat ang mayat nga urayan tayo lang ng narod, the decision of the Court of Appeals before we dip our fingers or we assume what we would like to assume, Mr. Chair.
May I answer that for board? Thank you. In the appointment of G. Marie, there was instruction for her to immediately assume office. That is to stabilize if there is a vacuum in the leadership of BENECO. I think the intent of the NIA is for it to, there's a continuing leadership so that all the processes and the operations of BENECO will not be hampered. And second, her appointment is deemed valid until declared annulled by the court of jurisdiction. So that while that case is pending between Atty. Marie and Engineer Licoben, the order of the NIA, which the exercise pursuant to law, is for her to assume office until and unless that instruction or order will be declared by the court after hearing the evidence and the arguments of the parties. That remains stand. So it's similar to the ordinance that you passed in this honorable August body, that even though that person feels that that is illegal, he cannot declare it himself as illegal. He must go to court and ask the court to interpret it for him. Until and unless there is a decision of the court, that ordinance that you passed resumes valid, legal, in accordance with law. So that's what happened. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I said that because I was thinking that the observance of sub judice, partner Pumatijay, is also the observance of the status quo. But as was mentioned by our resources speaker, I think what they would like us to stand is the appointment of Madam Marie. And so that when we say status quo, medyo hanan na parehas di reference tayo. Because you would assume that the status quo should be that she is the appointed manager. But in our case, sabali man, because we would also assume that it is also engineering equipment with due respect. Is that the case?
Yes, po. She already assumed her office. And so if we're talking about status quo, to us, with respect and with complete humbleness to this honorable August body, we respectfully submit that the status quo is that Marie is the GM of BENECO. That's the status quo because she already assumed office. Had he not assumed office, then your point of reference would be that the government would still be UIC until this matter would be decided by the Court of Appeals. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I heard it right, Madam Marie mentioned a while ago that on that October incident, it was not the assumption, but the mere serving of preventive suspension. That's the reason of the incident on October 18th.
That is correct, po, because she already assumed her office on, I think, August 27th. August 27th, po. So that incident on October 18 was only to enforce the suspension order by the NIA against Engineer Licoben and receiving PODs, because despite the receipt of the suspension order, they continue to discharge their functions. So based on the legal standpoint, that exercise of functions despite the receipt of the suspension is to us illegal.
Maybe we could ask that question to Atty. Mayo.
Can I just finish? Because anyway, I'm basing my questions on the statement of Atty. Marie Abanico. Because she said, if I heard it right, that the reason for the October 18 incident was just merely to serve and not to assume. But my question is this: if it is only to serve the preventive suspension, why did Madam Marie, with due respect, have to enter the BENECO premises? And it served actually as something not good with the employees of BENECO and even the NCOs of BENECO. With due respect. Kasi kung natayo ko, observe ka lang kumating preventive suspension, yung apay gamin nga masapol nga napanda. And in fact, they stayed there for some days, Mr. Chair.
Yes, board member. Actually, prior to the October 18 PNP Kanea, I was already in BENECO. Napan kami BENECO, and like as mentioned earlier, I made do with my office at the Dumul Hall. So it's not my first time to go to BENECO. It's my third time to go to BENECO South Drive office in October 18. And I need to discharge my functions, so I need to be there at the South Drive office, Your Honor.
Four more questions?
Yes.
Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. She also mentioned about conversations. Is it not illegal to see or to see the unlocked conversation of persons, Mr. Chair?
It was not logged out, board member. It is the property of BENECO. The desktop is a property of BENECO, and it is within the South Drive office. And haan ni ako nga binirok dayjay nga conversation. It was just there when we got there.
Maybe, Your Honor, this is akin to the presence of law enforcers under the principle of plain view doctrine, where you are not searching for it, but it is appearing on your side. You don't have to do anything. The law says that is valid because under the principle of plain view doctrine, so that information is not a product of the so-called fruit of a poisonous tree. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, on the issue of sabotage, which was mentioned a while ago, sabotage is never a way of itingket with due respect. Oray siguro nung medyo nagsawan na DJ, baka hanggang makaaramidan. Now my question is, did you verify before you acted unilaterally to somewhat treat this as a sabotage? The conversation na nakita yung Mr. Chair.
Board member, we are giving you a copy of the conversation. That's why I told you a while ago that it is up for you to judge the conversations, because the photo of Shilan was shown here in the Agsapa 1819, nahanpay na nakuti. And it is quite grabe nga coincidence nga apay nga ije balakbang, taga balakbang namin apo ni Engineer Carlo Bentayen, ije balakbang, Dontogan, and Green Valley, di talaga nga naawan iti kuryente na iti October 19. Kat no coincidence di ay katangag pay peso at nakadakayon apo, taadamot ti kopya dito, we have printed the copies, and it's for the body to judge. No ustumat na ang dijay na patapat kami, but nevertheless, kas lang haro DJ ko na, DJ memo, kadagiti linemen nga apan tinmulong nga nag-restore iti elektrisidad, ito'y banda iti Shilan, iti October 19, at dati man tinag-volunteer, ken dagiyay datalino nga linemen nga empleyado mo ti BENECO plus the Blessing Construction, at dakadakayin apo, nga mangkita, no anya nga talaga tinangrari, ijay nga tayo.
Then going back to the serving of the preventive suspension, why did you withdraw? Although it was explained a while ago that you withdraw to transfer, but still, why? No kumakasla is, I think these are matters which even me as a magbaybayad ng BENECO, kaslang na this disturb me. Because no talaga nga tikayat kayo just to serve the preventive suspension, dapat awang kumatagitoy. Maybe know the reason. You mentioned a while ago, you have to transfer, but still why? No nga inuray tayo nga talaga nga ma-solve kumati issue iti masino nga talaga ti GM, and that's the time we make these kinds of move. Mr. Chair.
Yes, board member, they at that time, we have to open a current account at Land Bank, I want the current account to BENECO, but it is still within in BENECO's account. I cannot haan nga mabalin nga function iti may nga general manager no iso na nga authorized, and that simply shows that even the bangko that they authorize the legality of the preventive suspension, and sino ti dapat na signatories iti banks para iti amin nga transactions iti BENECO.
If I may, Your Honor, I believe that the withdrawal was a coincidence on that day, and unfortunately it was hyped on social media because if we try to look at also the records, some BENECO officers withdrew a 20 million from PNB around that time. And yet this was not heard on social media. This was not hyped on social media, except this 1 million that was withdrawn coincident at the time, my controversy. Anyway, Jane explained where this 1 million went, but this 20 million is still unaccounted. They withdrew it from the DBP, yes. It's a one check for 20 million that day. Yung kasagsagan din ng activities na yan sa South Drive. Now, we are not hyping this, but because it's in relation to these questions, so I might as well bring it out so that the truth will come out. Thank you.
One more from Board Member Tiwin, then Board Member Namuro.
Just, Mr. Chair, just an appeal to Madam. Can we not wait for the action of the Court of Appeals? Kasi lagamin this issue is now not only dividing people of Benguet, but even the tribes of where you came from, which I am 1/4 from Mountain Province, with due respect. Kat nung mabalik ko, maawang ko man. There is kindness that we can all show here, because we would like to appeal from the people of Benguet. Let's show who we are, that we are peace-loving, we are understanding, but also to appeal from the camp of Madam Rafael and even Mia, nung ay urayan tayo launanan iti action iti Court of Appeals. Let us I think the employees in the engineer department is damot silaw tayo nung ay sige lang, and then wait for kasi nung hantiyo arami din dito talagang animosity kan dating na problema kad dumakal, it might even involve, with all due respect, your relatives and even us in Benguet, the people of Benguet. Just an appeal, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Board. May I make a comment on that, Vice Governor?
Yes, proceed.
I understand, and with all due respect to the Honorable Board Member Butiwe, no kindness kat awan siguro di inaramid ko nga hanga kindness, and even when they were di imuna jay BENECO kat hanak lang tanag sa uray no ada iti nagkakadakas ng ibagbagada in front of me. I just looked at them and nagkatanaa. Then I went to BENECO and I was at the Dumul Hall. Iti independent siya ti silaw at daba tinangig ko kanya. At daba iti hanga nasayaan nga nangig iti Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng kumpon man taga Benguet against EJ na inaramid na. I made do with that where I want ti silaw iti Dumul Hall. So no DJ kindness, awan siguro man ti abuso nga inaramid ko personally. Di kapasidad ko mga isang empleyado, then awan mo di ko nakapan ko nga ikating na empleyado dita. So DJ ko na yung apo, nga orayin tayo di Court of Appeals, na-explain ni engineer ato na tatay nga unless and until announce, DJ appointment tayo, I really need to work and do something and work with CBA also, and not only NEA, tapno maikarimaan na mas transparent iti ikasta iti manihar iti BENECO. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Board Member.
Okay. Honorable Board Member Robert Namuro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, good morning, ma'am. Minister. Good morning, Atty. Mayo. Again, we are very thankful for your presence. Anyway, this is just 3 questions. I'm just curious, Ma'am Marie. You have stated a while ago that you have sought the endorsement of the president. Inendorsoan na ka ba, ma'am?
Ako board member.
So no.
No board member. I don't have any copy. Awan isurat ako ni Presidente for my endorsement.
Okay, next, Mr. Chair. Ma'am Marie stated a while ago that in the opening of the banks, masapol iti 3 signatories na 1 million about iti account. Kat masapol iti treasurer kan sino ka di, ma'am?
Board member, the BOD president and the BOD treasurer board member. Kasama natin set up ito.
Yes. So sino nga iti talong signatory ang assign mo coming from the 4 board members?
The BOD president is Mr. Lucomeya, board member, and the treasurer is Mr. Rocky Aliping, and talo kami ng signatories to more than 1 million board member.
And the bank honored it, ma'am?
Yes, board member.
Okay. Next question. You have stated a while ago that the purpose of Atty. Mayo and a group of uniformed personnel on the early morning of October 18 is to serve the suspension order. Do you have any particular specific instruction ijay na suspension order? Ada ba, ma'am? No. Iserve na lang ba or ada ba specific na aramidan na ijay?
Aga po iti board member, aga iti order from the NEA, iti deputization order nga mapreventaran nga umunod na suspendido nga opisyales gamin uray idi na ipa-receive the preventive suspension da uray idi nag-file da iti respectful motion for reconsideration handalat nga tinumpag ijay. So the specific no anya oras wino dagay nga detalye awan ako ijay deputization order iti.
Okay, thank you. Then in social media, I don't know, the veracity of the post in the FB accounts na nakapost. Ada nga i-request nga kung kuna na yung mabalbalin that you drag them out kuna na. Is that true?
Ada po iti-request for lack of better term or remove them from the building what is just and necessary under the circumstances if and when they would refuse to do so. That's Jaya.
So dagay tao niya, iti mabalin nga buyodan, ipay kasi yung building. Kasi ba?
They preventive suspension, haanbag nga kasay, ma-escortan ka out of the building. Only if they refuse to do so. Kasi board member.
That's all, ma'am. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, board member.
Okay. The honorable board member Florence Centres. Okay, honorable board member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can I direct my question to Atty. Mayo?
Yes. Atty. Mayo, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Moving forward, sir, in-declare na kayo the city of Baguio as persona non grata. Do you still plan to go to Baguio, Mr. Chair?
Kano kayang may dilibag sir?
Sir, ang kung kasumbatan na sa ludsudyo ta adamat opinion TDILG, the declaration of a persona non grata, at least I have to clarify the matter, is only a declaration because it will come to a point. It would be quite absurd for a local government unit to prevent the fulfillment of a duty that has been ordered by a national agency. So that declaration of persona non grata, to my mind, is only an expression of the sentiment of a particular body because that declaration or resolution cannot and will not in any case override the constitutional right to travel. In fact, no kasta ti panunod ti members ti Sanggunian, I am afraid that this would be an overreach, legislative overreach, if that is meant to prevent the inward travel of a person who has been so declared. Let's stick to what is in the Constitution, sir. That's the basic law of the land. And we have to observe the injunctions of the Constitution.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Nasa, when you will not also hear the sentiment of Baguio City in declaring you as persona non grata or grate, Mr. Chair.
May I have the question again, Mr. Chair?
Kas na kaya yung Honorable Nasa, that hanyong denggan or hanyong consider the expression of sentiment in the city of Baguio in declaring you as persona non grata.
I will have to answer that before the city of Baguio, sir. Because, as I said, the declaration is only an expression of sentiment. Is that supposed to prevent somebody from traveling to a certain locality? Certainly no, because of the constitutional right to travel. Again, the basic law of the land, the highest law of the land is the Constitution, and nobody's over it. Only the courts can rule so.
Moving on, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Is that the reason why even the MCOs declared you as persona non grata in this natin tenyo de sentimenta, but you went to occupy BENECO because of your constitutional right, as you have mentioned, and not considering also the sentiment of the MCOs, Mr. Chair, which you in the NEA should also try to, I believe, respect with all due respect.
Mr. Chair, the entry into BENECO was already done as early as September 28. You should consult your calendar. We should consult our respective calendars, Mr. Chair. That declaration, I think, came in October. October 18 was the much publicized implementation of the preventive suspension order. And that declaration came in October 25. So, which came first? This is not a chicken or egg story, but which came first?
Mr. Chair, I'm referring to the declaration made by the BENECO MCOs during the AGMA, not the declaration by the city government, Mr. Chair.
I believe Atty. Mayo already
Yes, Mr. Chair.
responded to the question.
I would like to answer that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, proceed. Yes, sir. On the declaration made
With
by
regard to the declaration by the AGMA, that was, I think, October 22. Respectfully, sir,
October 2. October 2.
insofar as NEA is concerned, that AGMA has no legal effect. For the simple reason that the regulators have not sanctioned the holding of the said meeting. Ayan na nga, iti gobyerno tayo apo, no, if we take the law into our own hands. Haan lang nga rod nga sinanksyon tineyan at the resolution ti BENECO board. It is September 28, deferring the AGMA. Nag-announce kami pa'y. Nagparwar kami pa'y ti notices through the social media. Ti CDA, hanamat nga sinanksyon dahi nga AGMA, kano? Meaning AGMA. Papanan tayo ngay, no kay kaya tayo laangan ti mangyaring. Papilit tayo ti kayat tayon. Where is the rule of law? We are all citizens of the Philippines. May sa ti gobyerno tayo ako. Respectfully, sir. Dahil nga agma, awan yung legal effect na apay. For example, hindi ka dadali upa nga direktor. Upat nga direktor na tayo, hindi ka da. Anya di kaya nga sa uwan. The alleged General Assembly arrogated into itself the power to remove directors because Section 4A of 10531 expressly grants the power to remove, suspend, or replace directors to the National Electrification Administration. So, papanan tayo ngay, no kaya kaya tayo natin mangyari, adalintag tayo. Nalawag mo tilintag. Dito lang ako, respectfully, sir.
Before going further, Attorney, Madam Bilangman, from where are you? Tagat mo kayo, sir.
Hello, sir.
Tagat mo kayo, sir. Your residence.
Siya ka po?
Yes, sir.
Ang kung nga mabalin ngayon, warti residence ko po, respectfully. Ang dati opisina kay Jaya, niya.
From what municipality or province, sir? The origin.
I reside in Quezon City, sir. But nagapuak ije Pangasinan.
Pangasinan. And sir, may we also know how many years have you been working in the electricity industry?
Siya ka po?
Yes, sir.
May adamat ti kurang-kurang 15 years apo. Nagrugi ak ito'y niya in 2007.
And we were also informed that you were appointed by NEA as project supervisor. When was the date of your appointment?
If I may go into details, I think September 21 apo.
September 21. And
ngem rinubyak laeng nga nag-perform it is September 28. Ngamin isu da jeje pa nang i-serve ko. In-serve ko di preventive suspension ken nagrugyak mo nga nag-project supervisor. Ta da jemot ngamin preventive suspension is effective upon service.
okay.
It is September 28 ako na panak ijay BENECO tap na ma-serve ko di preventive suspension.
Until when guys ang validity na the appointment yo?
90 days apo.
90 days.
90 days.
So as project supervisor, sir, what in particular the function of the project supervisor?
Ay, adda sa diin naman po ay adyak nga memorize nga may salita DJ supervision of the electric cooperatives. May samat dagijay di kadagi trabaho nga na-assign kanya to try to bridge the two factions. Iso nga idi pagsangpet ko ti 28 nang iparwarak nga dagos tikat kayat ko nga katungtungan apo dagitoy nangangato tiranggo na ijay niya ay jay BENECO. At dati surat ko nga awawagan kita ti meeting ijay mismo BENECO ijay South Drive. Kat adamat sungbat da nga handa makaumay and I would respect the reasons for being for not attending.
When you were appointed as project supervisor, sir, correct me if I'm wrong, that when you have that appointment, no one should be acting as general manager. Am I correct?
May I have the question again, sir? Nakapoy ti signal sa tuwi kay palay mi.
Itinaapintaran ka nga project supervisor, sir. You said that the term itself, kayo can supervise iti BENECO.
considering the impasse between the two general manager. So am I correct with my opinion nga iti napuntaran kayo as project supervisor, awan kumapay nga ron iti ma-recognize as general manager. Meaning to say, that kayo iti in authority. Am I correct, sir?
That is not accurate, sir, with all due respect. Ngamin, sa bali nga tao, ti project supervisor, sa bali nga tao, ti general manager. No, sublian tayo apo, the PD 1645, at dati may sa nga konsepto neta, may sa ti project supervisor, may sa ti acting general manager. Now, there are instances where a person is appointed only as project supervisor. There are instances where a person is appointed only as acting general manager. And there are also instances that the project supervisor and the acting general manager are rolled into one person. Iso nga, no madlaw yu ako, tayo rumrumwa di sa lunsudyo kini ni GM Rafael, awan ti checking nga pinirpirma because I am not the acting general manager. I think personally it would be superfluous to appoint me as acting general manager. Tadamot ti general manager nga inappointar mismo tineya.
Okay, sir. So nakunay doon tayo, you are there to bridge the two. But on your part, sino ti i-recognize yung ay kanya ng adiwa?
That is a very good question, sir. Thank you. Ti nag-appointar kanyak ito kat niya. And by necessary implication, I have to recognize the person who has been appointed by my office. And that is no other than Attorney Ana Maria Paz B. Rafael.
So, yes, the honorable board member, Mr. Okumwan.
Before we proceed, for everybody's peace of mind, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 personnel from the 2nd Benguet Provincial Mobile Force who are here to maintain peace and order. The order for them to come came from Police Lieutenant Colonel Benson McBee. For everybody's peace of mind, Mr. Chair.
Yes, okay. Again, nagyamang kami lang natin, presensyayo to the police officers. Napinpintas ko man, part of protocol, it should be the head of the Sangguniang, should be the one to request assistance to maintain peace in order. And we did not seek actually presence of uniformed personnel, just like in the last meeting, because dito Sangguniang Panlalawigan, dito Benguet, we are peaceful. We are not saying that we do not need the assistance of police officers. I said, we welcome you, we thank you for coming. Siguro in the next time, that you have to inform the proper authority, especially the governor or the head of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Yeah. Please extend that message to Sir McLean. Okay, we proceed. So we have heard from Atty. Mayo. Dapat hindi maisalusot yun. Board member, the Honorable Florencio Bentres.
Mr. Chair, sa tayong nagsulat ang itong chapter. Ading mo dapat aditi panunong agtang na pag tumang naman ito dito. Tumagal pa rin ko.
Board and nagkabatch ta nga mayor. awan mo kaya aramay di kinawan intention ko ang kulo na ira na laing na siya ikinakontarang na agpaling niya general manager. Nung namaambay ka, na iti pa nag-service, awan ako iti intention ko nga ang kulo.
Okay. So, nakasalusod ko na natin ito. Tumatuglaw na eh. Nung bigay lang si advice ko, galing ko na. Galing ko na rin. At nagkamal na ko magpipili ko. Kuresitan kasi nung kalurot ko na. At nung tumal na lang kumugaran tayo. Makita mo siya na may pagdadalag tayo. It was well spoken na si amin na local government units he already expressed support to Engineer Recording. Okay, bukas natin kaparutan natin kung salud-sudak na. Have you been in contact constantly with the members of the Board of Administrators of Mayo?
Constantly, board.
Ano yung ba naman itong ka?
Haan, board member. Haan, board member.
Because it seems that Mia's broken all the rules that have been promulgated. Is what is salungsod ko lang, mawan ko lang nga itong ka. Hindi bagamit ko namin mo, nagsurat ka to enforce the suspension order.
I request at iti-anim na opisyalis iti electric cooperatives nationwide, ayan dalain ko ang request and communicate with the NEA.
Okay. Sino pinagpilma ba yung preventive suspension order? Kung nga nakita rin yun, kopya ko siya.
I think that
Or could you provide us if you have a copy of the order?
preventive suspension order. Yes, but I'm checking it out this time.
Or you can provide us later.
Yes, board member. I'm not really sure na sino yung may preventive suspension order.
Yes.
Maybe Atty. Mayo can.
Okay, Atty. Mayo.
So, idawat ni
Yes.
Sir, ikanta kami
Sir?
ti kopya, ijay preventive suspension order. Mabalin ti email siguro.
Sige po ibaga kay corporate secretary ni tapno na mas opisyal ti panagsumbat. Ited ko apo dayjay email address na nakasangpot kanya tatay ti Sangguniang Secretary may malpasa ti meeting may tawag ko di corporate secretary niya po tapno may kanta kayo ti kopya yo ngam ti as far as I can recall the preventive suspension is signed by the NEA Board of Administrators ngamina po dahil nga kaso nag-emanate ijay administrative committee. Dito nga order, nagrugi ijay administrative committee. The recommendation of the administrative committee is subjected to the approval of the Board of Administrators of NEA. Basta apo ti procedure mi dito yung opisina.
Okay. Follow up.
So, kaya tinason na Atty. Mayo, saan nga da kayo tinagpirma yung preventive suspension order? It emanated from the Board of Administrators.
You are very correct, sir. Ngamin, dahil nga resolusyon nga nang-impose ti preventive suspension, isumat the same resolution nga na-appointara na project supervisor. So, in a manner of speaking, ang kuma-appoint ti sarili apo. Iso nga, DJ ngamin, order, dagito'y superiors mi, ijay Board of Administrators. And I think that is Resolution number 2021-87, the Board of Administrators ni Apo.
Mabalin na po, Atty. Mayo, ng saludsod, and you can speak for NIA di saludsod. Because you've been there at the NIA for 15 years.
Wala po no, mabalin ko nga siyang bata na paisaan, tapno for the guidance of everybody who is listening.
Anya ti, Atty. Anya ti kaditi position nyo sakbay kayo nag-project supervisor.
Nabayagak Apo nga Attorney 5, EJ Legal.
And I believe being an Atty. 5 in the legal, before your position as supervisor, project supervisor. You have been consulted openly by the Board of Administrators.
Haan po, I beg to disagree. Insofar as BENECO is concerned, I was only on board when I was designated as the project supervisor. The only thing that I know about BENECO, insofar as this is concerned, ngamin idi
Atty. Sangguniang BENECO, GNIA, kahit mo sa Board of Directors, or Board of Administrators of NIA.
As I said, sir, anak na konsultar Apo. Although siguro isu nga na-appointarak dito, itadati akbat ng project supervisor ay albay kan bukid nun, sir.
Kasi alam ko yun ni Tommy Rafael na mabalin ka personal na motopropyo na iso na kumanti bumaba kami may kati kamulan ti BENECO. Kami dito yung municipios, 13 municipalities, the provincial government of Benguet, and the city government of Baguio are in support. Tarimuar dati ng problema because of the Board of Administrators resolution singling out Atty. Rafael as being higher in rating to be transmitted to the Board of Directors of BENECO. Well, so I was asking that question. Nagdamapigay at mukman no among dito yung nangyari ng Board of Administrators, may salantin rekomenda nga candidate jay AC.
Tipan nakamuk Apo, I just came to know later nga adda nga minda ito niya as it is with all other government-owned or controlled corporations, ti abugato ti NEA Apo ket daytoy Government Corporate Council o GCC. And there is even jurisprudence for the guidance of everybody that all legal divisions, legal offices of all GOCCs are under the control and supervision of the Office of the Government Corporate Council. Ipanakamuka po, and I think I have the document on the matter, di mawat daytoy NEA board ti opinion ditoy OGCC. Ket adamat ti inwar ti OGCC nga opinion nga daytoy gayam Engineer Melchor Licoben ket disqualified iti panag-apply na. Apay haan na nga, I think the proper term is hanga bimaba, hanga nirelinquish the position na. Ket nalawag met dayta ijay memorandum iso timbagati Government Corporate Council. Dayta Apo nga kopya mabalin mi nga ited pati dayay nagan pati dayay preventive suspension order, that is resolution 2021-87. Mabalin mi Apo nga ited kanyayo via email. Dahil tangamin nalawag nga aduo na yan. I would, if the presiding officer would allow me to continue, aduo na yan tinasasaudan, pro or against. Nung kunak nga rod, as I have said it before, siya abogado may sa tilintag tayo, may sa ti gobyerno tayo. And we have the systems of appeals and procedures. Narigat ngamin for the people to take the law into their hands. Adalintag tayo na Jeros of Court. EJ mismo 10531 na section 8. Imbaga na jay nga mabalin nga i-restrain ti RTC. Court of Appeals laang apo ti maka-restrain dagitoy orders tineya. Nasa oda tayo matan. DJ may isang gwapo nga abogado ta nga dagitoy orders tineya are presumed regular. These are orders that emanate from a government agency. These are official acts which even the rules of court, I think it's Rule 131 Section 5 Paragraph M, which would presume the regularity of performance of official duties. Awan na po no, ibaga tayo nga mali din niya, mali dato eh. Only a court of competent jurisdiction can say that. I mean, this is a purely legal issue, Apo. This is a purely legal issue.
Thank you, Atty. Mayo. Ada na ito'y Memorandum Number 2017-035, revised, dated 2017. Revised policy on the selection, hiring, termination of, or for general managers. Are you all very well aware of this, Atty. Mayo?
I know, sir.
You are very
I know,
aware.
sir.
You are very aware of this.
I know of the existence of that, sir.
Okay? Una na ito at biro kung tayo mo, kapay nga nag-spark na ito ng problema ito BENECO.
Yes, sir.
At the outset, una na ito at the requirements with the qualifications the general manager of BENECO.
Yes, sir.
May sa ito, una na, yung masapol nga dakuma iti at least 5 years supervisory experience. Una na, di ba? At least 5 years experience with proven track record in the effective management of a successful electric utility-related business enterprise. Number one. Bigay number one, may capability work experience. Dahil that inuburan iti board of directors tinayin. They set this aside and use their powers and prerogatives. Is that correct? To set aside a law, rule, guidelines set by them, and then the use of prerogatives. Is this a correct action, do you think?
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for that question, Apo board member. Ngam, respectfully, I would like to decline answering that question. We have to observe, again, we have to observe. We are a government of laws. We have to observe the rule of sub judice. Tabaka siya, no sino man, na kayo, no sino man nga gagayim ko, na nagkomentaryo ito'y, baka si kami ti makontempt, si katay ti makontempt, katarigat ng makontempt ti Court of Appeals Apo.
Okay. Na lawag na kunanan ito'y, masapol 5 years supervisory experience. Without that, disqualified. Saan nga na qualified?
Isang nga ron ang punghan kusang bata na kata sub judice, antayo nga dapat nga ang gagarwati opinion tayo ahead of the court.
Okay. Correct na tanong.
Salamat Apo, salamat.
Sige lang. The selection process, are you aware of the selection process in the final interview?
Sir, sa Bali, nga department magigam kanya. Kay kadayta nga sistema.
Thank you.
Ah,
Thank you, Atty. Mayo. In the issuance of the BUA resolution giving preventive suspension order, it is because the BENECO Board of Directors defied or rejected the appointment of ASEC Rafael. Is that correct?
Sir, I am respectfully declining that because you said maybe. We can never assume. I don't want to answer a speculative question, sir. I'm sorry, with all due respect.
Thank you, Atty. Mayo. That's all.
Okay, board member Nestor Jr.
Thank you, sir.
I'll shoot my first question to Atty. Mayo. Atty. Mayo, can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Well, ang kakagong ungot tapos la agong ungot magpibosis mo.
Ay, kastoy lang apo talaga, no, pasensya kayo, no, di naman tinanggang. Anagama ko nga apo, normal ko lang dito eh.
Isakit ko mag-ano kung ni Uncle kong board member Vintres.
Nalagagugungat apo, kastoy lang talaga.
That is clear.
Kasi kami ngamin, kastoy lang ti panag sa sao. Anang agungat apo. Not a tinge of anger or what. Dispensaran yun na po, no, kasta ti panag sangpot na kanyayo.
Okay, humanay data dispensa mo.
Salamat apo.
Una-unay, apay apo kat inimbitaan na ka nga umay nga personal dito yung Benguet, kat hanggang ngayon may.
Damat imbitasyon ko apo.
Nga
Iso
mapay
nga,
hanggang ngayon may nga personally.
ay apo adapay ti dadong mga katungtong ko, ito yung opisina, di kalman. May kadua na ka-schedule. I don't want to delve into a personal matter. I don't want to make it public, sir.
Anyway.
So nga di mawatakla ang hindi kuntawa, yung mabalin nga ito'y laangan video conference. Takas tamad ijay, bagyo idi, nakasumtami idi, imayak nga imatindir.
Well, I was expecting you to come personally ibaga kumakong ka nga the previous session ni Sangguniang Panlalawigan ada ipasami nga resolution condemning your acts in October 18. Are you aware of the presence of the resolution?
I have not seen it, sir.
Anyway, we will be requesting our staff to furnish you a copy.
Yes, sir.
The resolution ni katin bagamit dyan nga matiti naramit yung iti October 18 nga sinagot yung opisina ng BENECO ti alas 3 diyan sapat. Intention niyo kat ag-serve iti suspension. Kas ano nga serban yung suspension no awan di tao iti opisina. Sino ayat ti alas 3 di parwaron? Intention niyo kat ag-serve iti suspension. Security guard at inabutan nyo. Hanod nga iso ti suspendin nyo. Dapat agad in-serve nyo kumati suspension. Yung oras ti opisina. Anay ato ni.
Yes, sir. May I correct you on that matter? At dangamin dakkel nga diferensya ti panag-serve ken panag-implementar. Sir, if your premise is service of the preventive suspension, I would respectfully say it is inaccurate, if not downright erroneous. Ngamin, dahil preventive suspension, na-serve hindi pala September 28 apo. Dahil nga preventive suspension, naawat dan, apay. Idi September 28 mismo ni Atty. Kakayan. Isuda apo, gayem ko data, napatay nga gayem, kat isu ti abogado ni Engineer Licoben. September 28 pa lang, adati respectful motion for reconsideration na. Hambit nagpali motion for reconsideration na napay naawat. May kadua, ni Atty. Sumngi, writing on behalf of his fellow directors na nasuspender, ada surat nan kini Apo Juanesa in his capacity at that time as the Undersecretary, alternate chair tineya. Iso nga, hindi pala ang naawat dan, how can they file a motion for reconsideration or how can they write to a letter to which they have not been served? Secondly, adamat na po, hindi pala ang manungatawan datan, nga tinataawagan tayo nga e-commerce law. Kaadati mismo yung nga nakakabil nga mabalin nga mangi-serve via electronic means, email. Especially ta ni Attorney Kakayan nang ipaw iti respectful motion for reconsideration na via email. Iso nga, right in the afternoon of September 28, at dalat ti corporate secretary ni, at dating pawit na nga kopya ti preventive suspension kini Attorney Kakayan, ken adamat kopya nga impawit mi ti corporate secretary tinaya. Impawit na kini Attorney Delmar Carreño. May samat nga gayam ko. Ta isumati HR Department Manager ti BENECO. So insofar as the service is concerned, it was done September 28. Nalawag mat kumapo, nga nabayag na i-serve daytan.
Okay.
At no mabasa tayo, what the resolution nga inuwarte niya.
Mr. Chair, I think we are going with the pagtutungtungan tayo at the nangyari in 18. So, tikuna na, he is correcting my premise nga di na pala October 18 kat nang i-serve. So, he is now trying to correct me na i-serve gaya man in September 28. Ano yan, Attorney?
That is correct, sir. That is correct. As proof of it, the general motion for reconsideration.
Okay. Inyay nga gusto nga ilaramid to di October 18.
Ini-implement mi ako. In-implement mi.
Okay.
At damanan tin resolution ngayon to dapo.
Okay.
If the suspension, just allow me to, if you can just allow me to clarify. Apo niya, at dati may isang suspension order. That is resolution 2021-87. At damanan ti resolution ngayon, what dagitoy Board of Administrators tiniya, October 14. That is resolution 2021-106. Dagiti in-implement mi apo ken na deputizement iti PNP. Ngamin adamat ti lintag nga mangitid ti poder tineya nga i-deputize ti PNP.
Okay.
I think that is section 4R of Republic Act 10531.
Okay. Attorney,
Yes, sir.
inunay mo nga abogado ka amo mi amin dayta sakit public servant tak lang ako nung katibagaken ka han nga usto din ng implementaran yung mga oras no usto ko mati panunot yo in-implementar yo at oras ti opisina sino man in his right mind nga pa nag-implementar ti order iti alas 3 ti parbangon usto ba dayan?
Da kanya yun, no? Usto, when nakuhan apo, I would respect that.
Okay. No siya ti damagong attorneyhan nga usto di naramid yung nga usto ti panunot yung in kayo nag-serve ti uno in-implement yung di order iti alas 3 ti parbangon. Mas respetaron ka siguro no napan ka ijay iti office hours nga in hanyo nga pinwer sa iti bagpagyo nga inunod ti BENECO. Mas respetaron ka pa'y siguro nung dito iti maibagak ng ka-attorney di inaramid yung di October 18 kathan nga usto gaputa alas 3 di parbangon kas punang karo di BENECO iti mayat ti arako pamikin bakit po kat dinistor puyo ti arako po mungkin bakit po di October 18 gaputa alas 3 kayo nga napan kayo kuma iti alas 8 ti agsapa oris ti opisina ni respetar ko pa'y detan han mo kailangan nga answeranan di attorney. I would like to direct again my answer my queries to Attorney Marie.
Yes.
Attorney Marie, are you aware that we passed a resolution condemning your acts last October 18?
I am not aware. I read about that, board member, but I have not read.
So anyway, maybe again request our staff to furnish them a copy. attorney.
But let us be clarified that what this body condemned is the act.
The act.
It is not the person of Attorney Marie and Attorney Mayo.
Yes. So, attorney, pakibasa yun contrary to the claims iti tao nga awan ti aksyon nga inarani ti Sangguniang Panlalawigan, nagipasa tayo not iti resolution condemning the acts the pinagkunan di October 18. Let us not be legalistic here. Amuyo, attorney, ultimately they suffered dito the member consumers. And I would like to reiterate the appeal of Uncle Board Member Betres. Nung mabalbalin ko we put in mind first the kapakanan iti member consumers. Nung makikita yung at mapapiktaran ti member consumers, panunutan tayo kung mga usto ti action tayo. Galing, at the end of the day, sino text of sample, hanod nada kayo. Member consumers mo. Kasi ano nga ipirman na ginailawan nga ang bayan, magulguluan datatan. Ako na din may saan nga honor. Kunayon na honor. Sino nga ipirman tisungutan tatati tao? Dito ako matipanunutan tayo, attorney. At the end of the day, sino text suffer? The coming nga member consumers. Let us not be legalistic about it because halang nga legal tilaban dito yun, hindi ka ipilit ti may sakit kayat na. Kung ultimately, sino text suffer? Member consumers. Dito ko maakot ti panunutan tayo ng panayon. Dahil lang ti may bagang attorney and Attorney Mayo, for me personally, you are not welcome here in Benguet.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Before that,
Mr. Chair.
kantanin alas 12, so I think we have enough information from our resource persons. The chair will allow all members of this body to speak their piece if you want to, and then after that, we will give also Attorney Mayo and Attorney Marie their words before we will resume our regular session.
Mr. Chair, may I
Yes,
matabunan DJ Kwan, DJ
the excellence of
naibaga ni Board Member from 1. Board Member from 1, thank you so much and I take note of that. And i-speech ko tatay, i-naiba yung opening statement ko. Tsaka mismo, personally, dumawdawat ako dispense sa ijay panggap iti oras na na-implementaran na ijay PSO. I do not mean na manggulo and kung natatay na mayat nga no ni Colonel Donogan that at sa uno apay nga kasi nga oras we will adapt that sir. Also, I would like to make clear that awan apo iti plano tayo nga manggulo iti BENECO wino MCOs. No agdaman apo iti kayat tayo apo nga agbaling at mas transparent iti BENECO. And with that said, I have a copy here of the financial audit of BENECO. Medyo napuskol, but then you can look over iti talo nga pages nga summary na, and then it is up for the body to judge. No, anya nga talaga iti mayat nga ikasta iti BENECO para iti member consumers tayo. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Could we have a copy of that? Okay, sige.
Mr. Chair, may I want to say something also, Your Honor. I understand this is our last opportunity to speak, so we would like to clarify something, Your Honor. If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Be allowed to stand up. I fully understand the sentiment of Honorable Ventres and Honorable Pongwan Jr. I, for one, also have that impression all of us, we want to protect the consumers. We want BENECO to succeed and to be improved for the benefit of the Benguet and Baguio people. And so, your sentiment asking J.M. Marie to be the one to give way, I think that's your sentiment. This is the truth. Both of them applied. I would like to discuss this without being sub judice. I'll try. Both of them applied. Both of them passed. You're supposed to be endorsed, both of them, after they have been qualified by the NIA, because that's the rules, and submitted to BENECO board, and BENECO board would select the 22. That's supposed to be, that's why yun ang isinisigaw po nila. And tama naman po na yun ang proseso. Ang problema, that during this process, selection process, that ada i-declare na provision iti ay dinasan ni Honorable Bentres, Memorandum 2017-05, kung na ijay na if you are acting for OICGM and you apply for general manager's position, you must relinquish your position as OIC to give equal chance in just and fair play to all the applicants. And that's the purpose of why an OIC applying for GM must relinquish his position as OIC. The problem with Engineer Nicoben, I respect him, maybe he unwittingly forget this one, or could be deliberately, he did not relinquish his position. Now, he was disqualified technically, and so that caused the NIA to have no other choice but to endorse Marie as the GM because he was disqualified under that rules. Now, when both of them applied, when they submitted themselves to all the rules, to all the procedures and processes of the NIA, and that's what we are, because we are government of laws, not of man. So they submitted themselves. So impliedly, NIA, Attorney Marie and Engineer Nicoben would or should be amenable to whatever the result would be. So after all this process, they undergone rigorous process, both of them passed. The problem is, Engineer Nicoben did not respect or did not comply that clear provision of that Memorandum 27-05. So he was disqualified. So when Marie was endorsed, naturally BENECO rejected him because even before she applied, General Nicoben should be the man, GM sa kanila. Parang tapos na yung laban. And so, they rejected him, her, ibinalik niya ang resolution nila sa NIA po. At nung ibinalik yun yung sinabi ni Atty. Mayo that NIA seek the legal opinion of OGC. Ang legal opinion ng OGC, sabi niya, oo nga, tama kayo. Na-disqualify si Engineer Nicoben dahil itong rules na very clear, you're applying that sensitive position. It doesn't take a brilliant mind to understand this rule, but why he did not comply. So, even that case, yung sa Memorandum 2735 also, kung na-ijay, if the rejection of the BOD concern. No, just I am about to finish, so may I be allowed, Mr. Chairman? Just
The conclusion, concluding part.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Just so that the truth will come out, Your Honor. After that, may nasabi doon na if the rejection of the BENECO is invalid or unreasonable, the NIA may now appoint EGM. And that's what happened. We appointed General GM Marie. So yun po yung sa appointment niya, just to assume office immediately. Otherwise, if she would not do that, she would be liable for dereliction of duty po. Kaya po, nalagay din po siya sa torn between two lovers po. Obey the law or not to obey the law po. So po, yun po kasi yung ano natin na parang si Marie JM po ang cause ng lahat ng ito. But how about looking to the other side? Baka naman po, dapat natin tingnan po sila kung bakit naman po na nagkaroon ng isong ito. Yun po, we pray that we will look at both parties, we look at the truth and the facts po. Thank you, honorable members, and thank you, Mr. Chair. God bless po.
Okay, so we have heard your side. We have heard also the side of Engineer Licuben. Probably if we will continue questioning the position of one another, baka sana malpas dito eh. Anyway, as I said, we have heard both sides, and after that, we will be evaluating the position.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I may just clarify that this is being discussed because there are many people here who might not have understood all the issues. So kahit naman yung subrida ito, kanina ito pinagsumat. Maparin ko ma. Mr. Chairman, wait lang.
As I said, each of the member of this body will be given chance to say the concluding statement. So probably you will be the first to member of the press.
Well, tayo pa nani, ito rin. Managlawag, tinintag kung mura naman ito. Nung nalawag ko mareto ito rin. Ure sino nga abogado nga hulog sa authority nga, disqualified outright me. Ito rin Rafael, di ba? Sila mo tinangipan na, we have governing rules. Tapos, the result which is 25%. Saan na may recommend niya ito ni Rafael? Pero mo arbitration, hinangat nga ito may rating na. Nung pinapod doon, Nigeria report na rating, saan mo kiyang nakasyan? Both of them passed. But I did not, this is a very new issue. I have not come across to na-adjusting bagat the Board of Administrators na disqualified ni Engineer Licuben. Kawan pinakita na kasi na disqualified. They only recommended that the rating because both of them passed. In recommend ako na recommending RB resolution. Yan yung RB kaya? RB resolution, kiniyan? Yan yung RB. We are approving the recommendation of RB. RB resolution, ko na. Nga, may JI, dati na nga ito nga higher rating na. Isuti may recommender na, isuti na approve na. They did not say that Engineer Licuben was disqualified. They are talking about integrity, kung na dyan. Engineer Licuben, saan na nakabasol? Because he was installed by the Board of Directors. In Suprida, they defied the resolution by BUA. Naipilit na niya ito ni Asep Rafael. Ganito na, they defied. Iso tinin mo na ito at opinion ni OCGC, the Government Corporate Council. Yung opinion na lang niya, he was not well versed about the actual issues. Nga di kayo duwa, nakapasada. Bagay nakitin ng awan the integrity na di mesa. Iso na, ano pa ba sila na ito ni yung ipilit kuman na ito ni kada tilintag, kahangan na surok na tilintag. Naglawa po rin sinuhanan ng mga basa ka. Mati-English, matalusan na ito. Di ba? Sino-sinuhan ka dahil magandang awan the integrity na. Ang mga kastete, we are not doing legalistic. But what is in the law? Nukunayo. Yes, what is the law? Tanawan tilintag. Awan. Because these rules, inappropriate Maya, has been disregarded and replaced into a prerogative. It is very clear. Apa yang binaypas kami? So ano mo ito na disqualified dyan? Sa taang ko kayo nakita, dyan disqualification order. Kung nanalo dyan buwa resolution na naudi, 29, di ba? August 29, sama tiya ay paspas tinamit dyan. Kuna na dyan, duwa lang pinakapasa. Ang nagtilo, duwa kuna na sabi, ang alit, awan na yung pagkata na disqualified. Yung disqualification to unang dyan, ano nga pa he was the assistant general manager. He's not a department manager. He's only assistant general manager. Or I relinquish na the OIC general manager. But not OIC. He was installed by BENECO as a regular general manager. Ito may basol na piman na yung relinquish na, isumunod lang the assistant general manager. He's still on top. He's still authorized at the board of directors. As assistant of that. So,
your concluding words.
May baga nalawag, baga tayo, just repeat the appeal. And Mr. Chair, siguro it will be appropriate if you will get the attention of Secretary Posi. He is the chairman of the Board of Administrators. Amin nga nag-preside dito Yosek Juanesa. Amin nga na dito. And it was signed by 3 only. But we are 6 regular members of the board.
We will discuss that later, but your concluding words to Atty. Marie and Atty. OMAR MAYO in the board of directors.
Ibalik, may wala na kayo yan. Kaya kada kayong absa. Pagpanong tayo kumang ibagadaman lang na ito lima yung masusunod kapag dintaga. Kaya ito diya patas lang ko. Hanggang mapululaw na dati maipilit. Nagdaman ito lima BENECO. Hanggang sa discussion ito, ipanggap problema BENECO di trabaho mo niya. Hanggang sa sila kapag kayo yan. Ano kasi ka na naman tayo? Awang timangyan, lumay ko, adunod tunay nga rin di ba? Di ba gulo? Sana kapay kuma, parang mo ulit kitas pinag-aaramin. Yung panag-enforce niya kung may mayo yung order. Yan nangyari yung gulo dyan. Kayo kuma, kung may asay ko tayo. Pinag-ibaga makahanap ko mga kasyo di marami. Tapos siguro yung kultura tayo na sila. Ang nag-ibaga na masakong marami because we have all the resources. More than 50 people na police. Mabutang na kayo promotion. If this will happen again, baka mas magulo. Ibang yan ito. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let us give the other members, board member Recto allowance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have only 2 questions, so this will take about a minute or 2.
Could we
I
say our concluding?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman. I just would like to ask 2 questions and I would like to direct my question to Atty. Rafael. And my first question is, by the way, we from Benguet will never apply for a position if we are disqualified. Now, my first question is, why did you apply in spite of your lack of 5-year experience, Madam?
Probably, if I may, naibagan ng the side at the time. So those will be within the legal legal side.
My second question then, Mr. Chairman. Do you think you'd be happy working with BENECO as a general manager with the employees and most of the NCOs see you as not with some manager? Will you be happy, ma'am?
I would not be happy, board member, but kung nagkaroon, hamad ka mabalingahan ang trabaho because sakot ako.
Thank you, ma'am. So with that, I would like to forward also a suggestion to Madam Rafael. I am supporting the suggestion of board member Pinterest and board suggest that if you really could do the ultimate sacrifice of giving up, tapos tumal na, dito ni gulo, dito yung BENECO. If you will do the ultimate sacrifice of giving up, siguro all or most of our NCOs and BENECO employees will appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The other members, Board Member Fernando Balaudan.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Isa rin po kako at direkta niya po at ni Mayo.
Proceed.
Nakapalaman nila kung may baka nakarindig-lingmat.
Okay.
Anak ka po, Atty. Mayo, I'm not the lawyer, I'm just a farmer. But this also to that Atty. Rafael was installed as a General Manager Associate last August 27, and I break, Attorney.
I have no idea, sir, but I said, I just came on board on September 28.
Okay. No. Attorney Rafael, I think you, what did Attorney Rafael should assume the managership of BENECO?
Yes, sir. I said, insofar as I'm concerned, I took over as the project supervisor September 28.
September 28.
September 28 ako.
Well, no, in September 28, you already know that Attorney Rafael was designated already by NIA as the General Manager.
I think the more correct term would be appointed, sir, not designated. Appointed.
Appointed by NIA, okay? And you serve the preventive suspension to Engineer Licoben on October 18.
I'm sorry, sir. As I said, it was served as early as September 28, as evidenced by the motion for reconsideration filed by the said Licoben through his counsel attorney Lauro Gacayan, also dated September 28. So it was served on September 28, sir.
Anya ngay position kas pakalikan iti suspension ni ako Licoben kat pinapintahan maron tiniya sa manager ni ako Atty. Rafael nasapsapa pa yun before 28.
I think the resolution will be clear on that, sir. I cannot speak for the Board of Administrators. I have already asked our secretary to send you a copy of that. The document would be the best evidence, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Atty. Mayo. Pasensya ang salot sa tipalmurata ng Atty. kami nun. And of course, to nawatak itatay, kay binasa niya po Bintris, manong tayo. Jay panggap iti requirement iti nuan niya baling requirements kat kunang disqualified so to be, but ang sinubatan mo niya po Atty. Mayo. Likewise, the statement niya po Atty. Hill that time na technically disqualified kunang niya po Engineer Licoben. Kasan nga niya ang nag-resign kay posisyon na kunatan niya. So ano sum up tayo or data, they are both disqualified. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Okay, the other members, Board Member Fianza.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I have only one question for Ma'am Rafael. Ma'am Rafael, amutay mag-DJ issue is still in Court of Appeal, right? In after Court of Appeal, sigurado mamapanin sa Supreme Court. So makikita tayo ba't bumayag na yung kaso. It will create understanding it that the consumers can kasi ada hanggang ada mo yata kan research information. Yung ada lang may isang question ko nga, ma'am, if ever nadakay yung mga packaging case, will we work it out related nila ikot agpagin yung fully operated na corporative na adan to share or adan to iti agsubli iti patronage ka kasi kailangan evidence.
Thank you, Board Member Cansa. Yes, Board Member, in fact, agan ako iti-meeting kayo with the Board of the CDA, and the Board of the CDA assured us of their support na agbalin tayo ng fully compliant na BENECO, tatlo dagiti member consumers kayo, kat agkaroon na iti patronage fund.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. The government FFA
Recording in progress.
BENECO will become private. Wala kayo mapuntahan. Because we don't know. Because it is so, my last word is for both of you, to our engineer and attorney, please find a way to talk and magsigurado dapat sa parehas kayo managabot sa Mountain Province. Talk together, kitaan niyo nun natin pagsayatan ng kita tao. Find in your heart, kaya niya ba ito pagsayatan in consumption. I will pray for both of you, na sana at ipagpalingan, ipagtungtungan niyo, tapos magsayatan dito. Nagkikitaan kayo dito at apil dito ng case. So, God bless to both of you. Thank you, Rocha.
Other members would like to speak? Board Member Waki, Bernard?
Yung may background na iniiwan niya. Ang yung naligal niya, yung kakal ni gamagin niyo. At dahil tinintay na magtuturo, hindi lang kayo kumain kayo. Ang yapi ko lang tinintay, gusto kumain kayo.
Dami ka rin joke na. Wala nga sukatan tayo kang iti BENECO. Sukatan tayo iti BENECO. Nya? Tama na lang ang taga-bingkit kami i-asperan. So ako na iman, awan laro di taga-bingkit laging kaya. Ano niya? Awan sa tinagapay, kinawan di qualified na taga-bingkit niya, taga-mountain province di duwa niya. Kato siya, related ko kaibigan. Ada tinutulong mo na iso-iso rin kayo na. Yan lang ako.
Board Member Robin Kawai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do not intend to ask any question, but I just want also to say my piece. Facing to be the standard for practice. We have heard last session the other side, and we heard also the session on the side of the party, this party. And apparently, no one between them is bent to compromise. So the way we look at it, this standoff will continue unless and until a court decision will be rendered. But when I check the record of the case, apparently the court of appeals where the case was filed has not yet acted upon the case. Am I correct? On Sabay. So no issues has been joined yet with the case filed in the court of appeals. And we heard a while ago that even if this case will be decided, for sure it will go up to the highest court, so it will take some time. So in the meantime, we have this standoff, and if it will continue the way it is going, sigurado, I'm very, very sure that BENECO, especially services, will be affected. As in fact, during the last standoff, we already experienced some interruption. And I live in Ako, we had interruption of electricity for 2 days and 2 nights when that incident happened. They were away that time. And it was possible kumakatan ng mga nangyayari. And I'm very sure it will continue, including the finances. That's a very apparent a while ago. Maybe after that, madam naman, waka mo contractor at BENECO because of this. I know it will not happen. But anyhow, I'm very sure, we will karon tayo yung legalistic na approach tayo, but it was not actually to this one. BENECO had its own man. NIA Adamati Pilpilita. We have the process provided by law. Both of them did not follow the way I look at it. If you look at the law, it is provided there who has the power to appoint. What is the role of the NIA? Both of them did not follow. BENECO appointed its own man, NIA appointed its own man. The procedure was not followed. Ngayon, ipipilit naman talaga both of the parties. What is behind what is the motivation of this BENECO and NIA at Ayamo? We don't know it. And at the end, it's in consumers, but that's very apparent. Look at the procedure, the law, it was not followed from the beginning. It was even admitted a while ago that both the applicants are not qualified. One of the applicants here, who is here now, is admitted. The one qualification only there, the experience-wise, both of them are not qualified. Both of them insisting the other is not qualified. Both parties saying that. So in the first place, our committee, because that's the role of the NIA, to vet the parties if they are qualified. Even the one of the parties here admitted that she is not qualified. And even the party, there is a law that makes him disqualified. He should have resigned first. But so from the beginning, really, the process was not followed. The law was not followed by the proper agencies. And so that you do not also blame the officials. No, they are now meddling on this. Because we are concerned. I myself, I am speaking here as not as an official, but as a consumer. As I said a while ago, we were affected to this tonight. Tapos lang the incident. And I'm very sure, in my repeat, mas severe, grave, the consequence of this is not solved with the solace. So I don't know really what happened, but the immediate community because of this standoff, because the way I look at it, both parties really do not want to enter into compromise. It's the decision of the court. But apparently the court also tinugawan naman, because as I've said, handa pa lang na inaaktan until today. I don't know when the case was filed, but supposed to be, if there is a prayer of injunction of PRO, the court should immediately act on it. So what the even the issues have not yet been judged in this case. Or what was pending is only a petition. Once the answer will comment or what by the other party. We are very suspicious about this. So in the meantime, mangyari kay BENECO, we don't know because of this. So on our part, so ate discussion tayo madam no because of this. But the way I look at it, talagang kasto sa mangyari.
Okay. Any more board member on Nasoro? You will listen your hand.
Just a few questions directed to Atty. Mayo. Hanap magtatay. Atty. Mayo, sir, are you still there? Manong?
Yes, sir.
Ada ka Penam? Okay, good morning Penam.
Natuyakla ako.
Okay, malam, good afternoon. A while back, kunang wanted legal basis ikadma. But according to BENECO, it might to the last week, kunada, They were registered as CDA. Therefore, the highest policy making body of BENECO now is the General Assembly. Second, they also cited CDA Article 132. Article 132, Paragraph 132, Paragraph 3 of Republic Act 9520 or Cooperative Code of the Philippines, if I'm correct, that NEA should no longer exercise regulatory or supervisory powers on elective cooperative duly registered with CDA. Ito yung po, iti basis, iti BENECO, why they are saying that the appointment of GM and the ratification by the General Assembly is correct. So, sir, Atty. Mayo, are you now disregarding this CDA law? Because you are citing also the NEA law or the President's PD.
May I answer, sir?
Yes, sir.
First of all, it is settled. Number one, that the latter law should prevail. Second, that the special law prevails over a general law. Okay. DJ primero apo nga DJ lintag nga maud-ud iti masurot, ijay payla ang numero ti lintag, amo tayon no kaano nga rimwar DJ bagbagada nga 9520. 9520 imon una nga pinirmahan ni Apo Presidente ngam 10531. So napatpatag daytoy 10531 ken nalawag nga imuna nga na promulgate wano nag-take effect dayjay 9520. Iso nga rod nga ti para kanya ka po para tineya dayjay 9520 na amendar to a certain extent. To a certain extent na amendar ti 10531. Okay. May kadua apo di ay punto katay nga it is special law prevails over general law. Ngamin daytoy apo 10531 special. Apa ito special? It only covers the electric cooperatives. Hanmet nga panagbinminos, daytoy 9520 covers all electric cooperatives. No kasla transportasyon dayjay jeep, amin nga jeep sa bali daytoy modern jeep kasla kasjay ako.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Iso nga may sapay ako lawlawag laan ko by express provision of law. I think this is this last paragraph of section 12. Dahil kat nalawlawag po handa ko mga balbaliwan tilintag by their own interpretation. Section 12, if I may read into the records. Anyati ko na 10531, despite the registration of electric cooperatives under the CDA or the SEC, the NEA shall retain its supervisory and disciplinary power over them in the conduct of its operation as electric distribution utilities. Nalawag apo, siguro awan maten ti room for interpretation.
Okay,
sa nalawlawag handa ko mga lablabagan tilintag ta nalawag pagmat.
Anyway, you have explained that already, Atty. Mayo. So, but that is your own interpretation, and I believe that there's no law.
That is not my interpretation, sir. That is the law.
But there is no court decision saying interpreting the two apparent conflicting law. Is it not?
That is,
Attorney Mayo.
that is precisely the point, sir. This is an express provision of law. This is an express provision of law. This is not my interpretation. The last paragraph of section 12 of 10531.
May I, but well, we have heard already that both sides are banking on the laws and the rules. So, kung natin may isang bangir, tapos kilintad kasama, di ko na di bangir. So, if we discuss that.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, can I proceed with other questions?
Your concluding words?
Yes. We were unable to ask questions to Attorney Mayo. In fact, we have a proposed resolution on the Organization Drama. How can we pass that resolution, Chairman? So, please bear with me.
Yes.
Implementation of the enforcement of the suspension order under NEA GOA 27 or I don't know, 106 ba rin? Nangyari October 18. Attorney Mayo was present at the time. Is it not, sir, Attorney Mayo? Maybe 3 o'clock in the morning of October 18.
Wala po, may just be, basi lang patalastas apo. I have already received a message from our corporate secretary nga di daw dawatin yung resolution 2021-87, 2021-106, kanda di opinion ti GOCC. Naipawit na po ito'y email address di Sanggunian, di spbenguet@gmail.com. For your reference, sir.
Anyway, just a few questions. Ada ka dyan niya, sir, di 3 o'clock in the morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ada ka po?
Yes. And na-observe mo ba ano ada nameplate na police na dyan?
No, at dati?
Nameplates. Nagan na police nga napan dyan. BENECO compound at 3 o'clock in the morning. Ada ba did you observe?
Ada po, ada. Nakakwada dyan na nagyatinagan ta.
Mga 150 people na nakamarka mga police, di ba paano na?
I'm sorry, sir, but the list of my concern. I mean, importante ti ammo, insofar as they are concerned, I am concerned, police na.
Yes. Okay. It was mentioned a while back na that the personnel of NEA that entered the BENECO building. At
personnel of NEA, sir?
Ang amon ni Atty. Marito tayo. Tao ba na dyan yung munag dyan BENECO building at the time at 3 o'clock?
Siya lang ti taga-NEA, sir.
So, sino nga yung naka-civilian na yung munag dyan BENECO compound?
Okay, let me clarify, sir. At dati kadwak, sir, ng hanga taga-NEA, siya lang ti taga-NEA.
Okay. One more. Is it true that the franchise of BENECO will expire in 2028?
Franchise, sir?
Yes, franchise NEA will expire in 2028. BENECO.
In all likelihood, sir. In all likelihood, ngamin dagitoy nga kooperatiba ng rugrugita ti early or late 70s. So 50 years later apo, mabalin.
Is it possible that after the expiration of the franchise, it may be given to a private entity or corporation?
Okay, sir. The question says, I would like to follow your question because I would like to be very perfectly clear on the matter. No possibility, yes, because anything is possible under the sun. No probability, haan.
Anything, sir? You have answered my question. Now, last word to Atty. Marie. Amoyo, Atty. Marie, I have nangat regards to ka. We meet in 2013. You were one of the supporters of the Vice President Pinay. I do not know if you remember me. After that, you have been going to the province of Benguet as a guest speaker. Nagbitayaman dito lahat ng Grata. But I would like to be honest with you. Hindi nangyari dito BENECO fiasco. Medyo I'm very much disappointed. Naibak matatay nga nagsao amin kita taon, nagsao ti people of Benguet through petitions, nagsao ti LGUs, nga respetaran tayo kuma iti present management. Despite detang clamor ito taon, kasi lang nga madimpay lang, disregard mo may langay, Marie. When in fact, a while back, dinabang ko yung bagam nga kahit mga trabaho. But abogado ka man, we are all lawyers, I'm also a lawyer. Ang magpukawan, kay abogado ti lawyer, ti trabaho. You even have a very good position right now. Naksika di papaparan mo yung Malacanang, no, ada problema may. But di mabaka dito di dyan medyo ano di problema. Sapay ko ma, Atty. Marie, hampay nga, it's not the end of the world. Na mabalin, pagbigyan mo nakatuwa mo kap sa tumatang, both of you are from Mountain Province. Pagbigyan mo, taisuna pinakatuwa Nung sika ko mamati, kaslamay nga ubig na mga tinubig-lulipang, biglang alaan. What do you think? Mga mahang kati tinapay, ada timang agawin ka. So di lang advice nun ka, Atty. Marie. With due respect, I still have high regards with you. Pagbigyan mo niya kapsat mo nga nakatugaw nga. Anyway, imbagamat, the case is now pending with the Court of Appeals. Siguro na to the final decision of the Court of Appeals. That is the highest law of the land, or it will be appealed to the Supreme Court. That would be the highest law of the land. Imbagana nga talaga nga, awan, Atty. Nicoban, ni Atty. Marie, iti dapat mabalin siguro. Right now nga, the case is pending, the issue is pending, pangasin, Atty. Marie. Pagbigyan niya kailang matagabing taga Mountain Province. Thank you. Good morning.
Any more? Board Member Comsol, Atty. Concluding words, and then after that, I will give the floor to Atty. Marie and Atty. OMAR. That will be the end of this session.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a concluding word. Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. As karon nalatio to process in aid of legislation ng multiple sites. So by and by we can evaluate them. But mamati ako mo, and I support the manifestation of Board Member Hongwan that Atty. Mayo has exceeded or his power as a PS during that unfitful dawn of October 18. I consider ito pa lang 1 week pa lang tinangyari after Typhoon Maring. But mo, dapat yung may isang baon di gobyerno nag-retricos daw ito yung remote areas ang part of Benguet, kakaasig di man kita tao dyan, o di kuryente na muso, pati dyan kakalsada. As lang ay action yung action yung na i-disregard yun niya dyan panti-insius na mas priority yung kailang na ito kapay hante pa lang po mga ipabigat na ito nga kasi ito ag-normalize ko mati sitwasyon dyan which I believe may sama nag-trigger dyan. We are recuperating from the adverse effect of Typhoon Maring that nangyari, and I support also the manifestation of Board Member Piansa, na kung makabalinan na Atty. Marie, manang mi, asa may samot ang RTLA niya, hanang abogado. Kaya kumot nga suportaran niya ko ni Board Piansa nga adang organ niya as much as possible, na nakamalinan ako na kayo lang nga leader with the BENECO, agsaw kayo, kahit ti infuse dito, ultimo pagbayaran, handa kayo mo pagbayaran na ti bills ka. So, di lang ti may makikita tayo maroon dito ko, parties ti rumor, makapay dito ti pagrugyan ti pagkisiparitan di kultura tayo nga igurot at inayin marili. Sige, thank you.
Next. Board Member Butiwi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The parting words to Atty. Mayo. Is he around, Mr. Chair? Atty. Mayo.
Atty. Mayo, are you still online?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. To Atty. Mayo, we are hoping na kung mga maaramid man rin, if force take over with excessive force, in you're trying to implement what you think is right. Because if you will do that again, I hope I will be aware tamay sa akton mo na mapang makibarikada o binuan niya. Not because I'm an official, not because I'm an NCO, but because I'm Benguet. And that is somewhat already tampering the peaceful spirit of the people of Benguet. No, usarin niya man ang excessive force. I really hope that will not happen again. And I really hope agri-respeto tayo. Mga urayan tayo kaminan, iti decision, iti Court of Appeals. Tapno, bumayat ko man iti sitwasyon. Itagta talaga natitibon of Benguet, medyo sa mga not only because they hate somebody or they don't like what's happening, but because they are also looking at it that what is being sacrificed here is BENECO itself. Isang nga dagat pagpalapag itatay, I am so sad. Awan tinangabak dito, inaabak tayo ang amin, kasi mapapektuhan dito, BENECO, Mr. Chair. I hope
Yes, sir.
you will consider my appeal, Atty. Mayo.
If I may answer that, sir.
Yes.
Ipalawag ko laan kumaapo. If we have to take the calendar of October, September 28, idi-inserve ko the preventive suspension. Amuda nga awanti poderdan as of that date or as of September 29 at the latest. Ngam anya apo din ang nangyari, nakita tayo nga more than 29 plus 88. EJ mismo DB pila ang tirimar nga kwarta ti BENECO. Tapos na maamuan tayo amin. Awan ti pagpaburak dito eh. I am one with you in protecting the interest of the electric cooperative. Apay, kaaduan nga kwarta, kaaduan nga propiedad, ti gobyerno, ay ti kooperatiba, nagapu gobyerno, subsidy data apo. Taday membership pila ang ti may nga member iti member consumer, 5 pesos. Tata, et wala nga ibaga po, i-JDP pila ang 43 million tinairward nga kwarta.
Anyway,
So nga, dahita talo nga lawas nga inuray ko. I waited for them. I took the pain of waiting for them for 3 weeks. Ibagada, dati TRO nga Rorian da. Ayaw mo mati-TRO? Ang ganatatad, mga bulan da jay kwa, da jay petitionan apo, awang pwede TRO, kaya na jay malintag nga immediately executory ti NEA.
Okay, Atty. Mayo, I apologize. I will hold you on that. We'll continue with the other members of this board. Board member, concluding part there, sir. So anything that you would like to respond, maybe Damdama, sir, tapos mag-impitsa. Board member for one.
The issue here is you're forcing your way in. You're pointing out another issue. No panggap let ang kwarta. File the necessary cases. Hanyo nga pan inayon let ang issue dito'y panag-take over ti BENECO. Ululawan yung di tao. Ang concentrate tayo ay no adat ikunayo nga suspension order na i-implementaryo pinasayaan. Han kayo nga pan ni Jedi alas 3 parbangon. Tata. No kunayo nga damang pupukaw nga kwarta. That's another issue, attorney. That's another issue. Aguray ka, hanap final pass.
Sige, sir.
Final pass.
Urayin kayo.
No, dahil nga ibagbagang, kat adana ruti nila singda nga lintad dita BENECO, isu at iipursuyo. Isu at file kayo the necessary cases no adda. And then, tap mo maamuan ningon as member consumers. You should separate both of that. Haan nga may sa nga issue data. Hanyo nga aulawan di tao kaputa nag-take over kayo kat ada mapukpukaw nga kwarta. Sabali nga issue day, attorney. Di bagbagayo nga implementaryo kat di suspension order. Tapos tata di bagbagayo nga mapukpukaw nga kwarta. I-separate yun data nga issue. Dapat data ti iklaro tayo. Hanyo ko mga ulawan iti member consumer.
Kayo, concluding your words.
They answered that, sir. Just to clarify, sir.
Last po, sir. The last. Any more from the members? Board member KC.
Salamat, Met. Met nga sa pati amin. Ito nga na pasama, usahan ito yung Pacific dito eh. Kaya wag mga niya tuloy mayo, wag pa yung ipagan ng anak kwarta nga nagbukaw. Gusto tarungan, nung kita ito prosesyo lang, kasi na, asok na ito, ang nalasunod na doon mga prosesyo, niya tuloy ni mayo, kung ni injury, likuhon. Ako man niya likuhon, nga assistant lang ko nga, tapo manihar na BENECO, pas kung ni Atty. Lazaro, kaya lang kumati masulta. Urayan dito yung desisyon, sunod yung tugaw, agak lang ni likuhon na manager. Kaya dati mo lang kasi status ko, lo magalit ako, tumarapin ang tingin ko. Salamat.
Any more? Kawanan? Okay, so, no kawanan. Allow me also, Atty. Marie and Sir Atty. Mayo to give my piece because it might appear as this is biased because I went to the BENECO compound last October 21, if I'm correct, and yes, October 20, na pa tayo. On October 21, there was a vigil conducted in I went there, and I was asked to give a message, and I reiterated the position of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan because hindi bilang bulan iti Mayo this year, kada dati impasati Sangguniang Panlalawigan supporting the appointment of Engineer Major Licobel. So on that day, is what na yung hapay mo na i-withdraw or ma-reconsider the resolution. So I told her that I am supporting the group of Engineer Major Licobel and the 7 board of directors. So the thing na yung tayo, and as I said, it might appear on your part na bias tayo. Let me just give my reason also. I hope you would appreciate. Umuna na kita kasnay bagat tayo, dito dumang kaduan ng members, consumers, owners, NGOs, and private organizations, associations manifested their support to Engineer Licobel and the 7 board of directors. And I also came to know that in the votation, 7 of the board of directors choose Engineer Licobel. So I go with the majority. So I support the majority. So that is one reason I declare my support to the group. And second, it doesn't mean to say also that I do not like Atty. Marie. May ibaga na kasi na ibaga ito tayong plan ni Board Member Nasaro, hindi naman tayo ni Atty. Marie that she is the Undersecretary of the President. Well, akas may isang kailan yung I am happy and I am proud that dati may isang kailan tayo nagtrabaho PJ Malacanang. So kung mas nabingpintas ko no agree ni manang Marie PJ national level tasaan na ang taga-Bagyo kung taga-Benguet iti i-represent na titulungan na instead no dahil sunod yung national level matulungan dat tayo kakaro ka dat tayo Cordilleran. So that is one kung EJP discussion that the proposal we will endorse and support Atty. Marie in case you want to consider the plea of the people of Baguio and Benguet kung nang ag-apply the national level kat we will support Atty. Marie. Kan may katulong rason kat ada di example tatay nga ada di mga tilolipat kat no alam di mga lolipat kat anya tirik na di mga. So that is one. Ada pi man ni Engineer Likuban sitting as General Manager. Kat anya nga tirik na tayo no mapaikat isu na ijay na position. Which on our part, manulang atawon so nga nag-serve as General Manager. Kakatay ni General pasubsublat na kini General Manager Versosa. So ang pay iti umnong atawon nga may prove na iti capability na. Although we are hearing he is performing well. The BENECO is performing well. Antay mag may baga nga iling cooperative. So nga kasi ada nga jerik na nga ang kakapsat tayo at kakailan tayo, especially ang nagapan nyo from Mountain Province that mabarbalik kumakat awan ti masaktan na. So makita mariknak iti part ni Engineer Liguben na sakit itirik na no mapa ikat ijay posisyon na anya nga tatirik natin patlaan. Isolusot tayo na tirik na manang mari dapat yan nagtatrabaho tapos sikap sa mo nasakit tinakong na matitirik na kaya naman na jay trabaho. So nga bijay iti na-consider na iti kapsatyo no apay nga magikanwa kada iti members iti provincial board nga manggawat ini manang amari nga mabalik at i-reconsider mo na ipabigay kini manong tayo nga kapsat ng matlaang kay matlaang ni Engineer Likuban. And we will support yun kung nang agsubika ag-apply ka ijay nga to nga mga representative kanya tayo amin na ipordihira. And with that, dinay bagamot lang tatay, if you will do the ultimate sacrifice, we will appreciate you very much. We will welcome you very much in the province of Benguet. And lastly, sa kayo malipatan, nagdawat at pimanggayan ni Manang Marie, itidispensa ito tayo din nangyari in October 18. So if no one will object, we will accept that apology. At may isang pang-apresyang niya, at least Manang Marie, at ma-recognize naman iti sentiment iti members, iti nasaktan na members. To Atty. Mayo, as we heard, he is standing by his actions in the October 18th, which we will discuss that after this. So that would be all, and I will be praying for you, Manang Marie and Engineer Liguban. Sabi ko at masolve ito as naibagat natin kini Manang Marie na after all of this impasse, antayo amo nga adat pinapintas kapag banagan na. Adaman niya, if you believe na medyo nga problema kat nadan tuman ti may na nga pagsayatan to yamin. Tatanga dyan po kami kat medyo na naputot, nadiba-diba iti posisyon kapanunutan ti maysa kung maysa. But I believe after this, dati pagsayatan na nga may paay. Ma-improve iti services iti BENECO, kasama kini Sir Engineer Likuban, kini Manang Marie, and all persons involved dahil iti pagpintasan ng itong maitin na dati. So with that, ikatayo mat iti gundaway na Atty. Marie and Atty. Mayo.
Salamat, Vice Governor. Salamat manen iti membro iti board iti probinsya iti Benguet. Basaik lang basit de party de last page that tayo na ako na ipatpas, and then I won't take long. Ang mukha na bisbisin tayo amin. Senior citizen iti kaban ka nagiti kakapagya ka imay that nagtitira o siguro ti Chandan. There is more than meets the eye in the BENECO issue. The noise and Black Friday protest led by Grata since May 2021. And it pains me to think that we are being polarized ng kakainan. I would like to share a copy of the decision why former Administrator Masosong was dismissed from office and the role of Grata in all this. It would also be proper to ask how much has BENECO contributed to Grata during the 2019 elections. Also, who is the contractor in the downloaded SEP or SIT electrification project worth 87 million from NEA for 2020? The SEP fund was downloaded to BENECO from government through the NEA. So, ada po di 87 million na napan iti nanaga po iti gobyerno para iti rural electrification project and kaagwan dahil iti nga pondo kat napan iti probinsya iti Benguet. There is so much about the monies of BENECO. And again, for the record, I have nothing against anyone at BENECO. Uray kini Manuel, iti nagsabat kami iti October 20 nga kagwami ni Congressman Go kunang manong dinmanong ka iti kastoy nga punto, duwa ka hata kinayat iti kastoy. And luman pa'y kas pangarigan siya ti tatnata siya ti General Manager, haan kamot na maikat, Assistant General Manager kalagtan. Tatlo ipilit mo di punto, agkainawatan ta, we agree to disagree, and hanta masapol na i-draft ti kakailan ta. He agreed to that, and then, but I didn't know kasi iti mang mangyari, Jay Saksaw kahit that day. That's the same, namnamain nyo ako that haanak nga hankong korapan iti money, Ikorta, iti member consumers. I do not have any business interest to protect in BENECO. I simply want to work and come up with innovative policies for a more transparent cooperative, one that is fully CDA compliant and converted, one that can open its financial status and accounts to its members. And I have nothing to hide. In fact, again, I would like that different sectors be represented and come up with an advisory council that will lead BENECO. Iti panagmanihar iti BENECO. So with that said, again, kahit kung dumawat man iti dispensa and kahit kung agyaman iti Sangguniang Panlalawigan ken dagiti kakailan nga taga Benguet iti daytoy nga opportunity, nangagang amin dagiti na ibagayo, and rest assured na kami nga kakailyan nga imapon ditoy Baguio in Benguet. Rest assured na awan apo iti intention mi nga apan manggulo, awan apo iti intention mi nga apan mangdadael iti nasayaat nga itakasta iti at kakailyan. So salamat man, and I would respect your decision, I would respect your opinions. And again, kas may isang simple lain iti narapaap na kayat narang ti agawin, agyaman na, I am flattered with the recommendation that I stay in Manila or in the national government, but I said within 5 years from the time namin nga at the leukemia anak ko, she has to be monitored every month. So I really opted to stay near my children, especially with her. So thank you so much for even without a position at that endorsement ko, agyaman ako na dita in the national government. And again, kasi ito na haan nga naibagay yung opinion nyo, hanmat nga mabalin nga madili niyo siya, kadagiti decision ko, and sapay ko nga, agree respeto tayo lang ka. And amin kada tayo, di concern tayo amin kadagiti members consumers tayo. So, ada ako, dagi insagana mi nga, kopya dagiti financial statements, sapay ko mata, ikan yung tumat iti oras at nabasahin nyo. Once again, salamat unay, kadagiti representatives, iti kakailan na taga-Benguet.
Okay. So, Atty. Mayo, your concluding words?
Okay, sir, kablaawang kayo amin nga naimbag nga malam, dayawag dayjay nasaon ni Apo Vice Gobernador, ti presiding officer, nga talaga nga kaslama, although he is chronologically younger than some of the members, kaslama, di inibatan ng asao. Awan ti accusation whatsoever, ngam lawlaw laan kumapo, tapno na ipalawag ko kanalaing. Iso nga nagkaadda ti desisyon, nga sumbrak ti alas 3, haan ko nga desisyon da jay ako, kunak nga ron, ijay Baguio, I had to defer to the decision of the police officers who may have intelligence reports that we cannot access. Numampay kasta, awan ti panggap ko nga manggulo, imbagamat ni Atty. Marie, ni GM Marie. Nalawaglaan nga dakkelan ti unauthorized withdrawals. Isu nga nagkaadda ti baro nga resolusyon nga ti PNP mismo indeputize na. Hanmi nga ulawon ako ti pagilian. Ngamin, i-DJ report ko i-DJ niya, iso ti maysa nga naging basis da, no apay nangirwarda ti maysa nga resolusyon. Kat iso ti in-implement milaan. Awan panggap mi, tajakmat kaya ti no di maysa nga kayem tayo, ibaga na nga na isturbo ti arakot na kinibakit na. Nasaya at sir, siya kahanan na turog di nga rabi, kan ko hangko kaabay ni bakit. Awan da dumamad nga kaabay ko. Awan ti panggap mi nga manggulo. No addaman ti panggap mi, protdela ang may maysa. Protektaran laeng ti BENECO, protektaran laeng ti kwarta ti gobyerno dita BENECO. Tahaan nga amin nga sanikwa ti BENECO nagapo iti operation na. Dakkel dita tinagapo ti subsidiya ti gobyerno. Dahil lang nga po, no anyaman ti perception nyo, daw nga han nga nasayaat, dawatet ti dispensa. Ngam may salaan mat ti panggap ko. Impaundak ket isumet apo ti lintel. Agbabaliw tayo man ti opinyon, respetaran tayo kuma ti opinyon ti maysa ken maysa. Diyos ti angin ako, na imbaga malam yung manan.
Okay, thank you very much. That concludes this part of our session. Again, we'd like to thank everyone for your attendance. And after this, we will be evaluating and we will be fair enough in our decisions. At alauna magtinan, baka may kasakit tayo, papasulan tayo ni Engineer Likuban kini Atty. Marie kini Atty. OMAR. So we will take a recess and we will get back maybe 2 o'clock. Dispensaran niyo ako dati isa-serving meals dito nabigla magka-adukal ka na may. Anyway, ada mati restaurant tayo di baba, di Al's restaurant. Others may go there, at stop tayo mga assist.
Chair, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, maybe be excused already after this one, so that you can speak among yourselves. Ibalik at dahil pinakasagana nga kanini, salamat muna i-offer ng ibalik handa kami na pagdanagan talaga ang kanya nakasagana mo. Uray siya ka kang kumot na mapawilan. Thank you so much.
Okay, so siguro. So
The chair declares 30 minutes recess.